into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Yes, it is, and once again, we welcome you to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is how your week starts. Happy Monday, guys.
Happy Monday.
What's up,
You, my royal friend.
Everyone was roiled up this weekend.
My word, some 5.6 million tweets and counting. Still rolling images and comments.
Never mind the memes.
We'll
We'll leave the memes right out of this conversation.
The hashtag caption this, that was happening.
It lived up to expectation.
Absolutely. Beautiful stuff. Congratulations to the royal couple. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex now, we shall call it. But we have our own royalty in studio this morning. Zahara will be performing for us. She's busy getting ready, getting all warmed up to give you a live performance of a lifetime this morning.
You do not want to miss out on that. And then we're also going to talk fashion, and this time separating fact from fiction.
I think we all need a little advice in that regard. Then, I know we've been going absolutely moggy because it's a prize worth going moggy about. We're giving away, or when I say we, MTN are giving away an opportunity to spend an entire year. You'll train with them, you'll sleep with them, you will be their go-to person for all the social media, and they're going to pay you to do it for an entire year, but you've got to earn the right. So Kat and I are going to test our book knowledge this morning with a little bit of a Q&A to see if we would earn the prize.
Is it multiple choice?
It is multiple choice.
Okay.
All my answers are Ashwin Williamson.
I'll put you guys up to the test.
Solidarity.
And then, of course, it's also relationship talk with Dr. Eve. And this time we're asking, are you working too much, or is your working hours affecting your relationship? A very interesting topic that you do not want to miss out on.
Yeah, Leanne says, amen, amen. It's affecting my non-existing relationship, yes.
This one might get a bit self-indulgent this morning, I think.
You're aware of.
Oh, goodness. Give us a call on 0214309881 a bit later on to engage in that topic. But right now, let's take a look at the morning's headlines. Hey, Lee.
Hey Kat, morning team. Hope you are well at home as well. Let's get you updated on what's happening in the news. Nationally, President Cyril Ramaphosa says it will become clear through different initiatives that there is no single solution to the land question. The president says when it comes to the issue of land, a range of interventions to address a diversity of needs across a wide range of circumstances is required. He was speaking at the ANC's first land summit in Boksburg on Saturday. Ramaphosa says different avenues need to be explored and that clear programs are needed to assist emerging agricultural enterprises. Almost all children in South Africa are either beaten by their parents, sexually abused by acquaintances, or bullied on the playground before they turn 18. 99% have witnessed violence or been a victim of it. These findings have just been released by the Birth to 20+ study conducted by the Department of Science and Technology and the National Research Foundation Centre of Excellence in Human Development at Wits University. Professor Linda Richter, the centre's director, says the project was done in Soweto on 3,273 babies since the early 1990s and holds true for South Africa at large. Now moving further abroad, the Mexican charter company, owners of the plane which crashed near Havana in Cuba on Friday, had received prior safety complaints, two ex-pilots say. Amongst the 110 people on board killed were 10 priests and their wives. 3 women survived the crash, Cuba's deadliest air disaster in more than 30 years. Mexican authorities say they will carry out a safety audit of the company. Cuban authorities have also launched an investigation as rescuers continue to comb through the wreckage site. And then finally, Zakuma National Park in Chad hasn't suffered a confirmed poaching incident since January 2016, thanks to heightened security at the park and the increasing support of surrounding communities. In recent years, it's become a rare haven for Africa's imperiled elephants. The park's elephant herd numbers 500 and is one of the largest surviving in Central Africa. 6 black rhinos were recently flown to Zakuma from South Africa, reuniting the threatened animal with a land it hadn't roamed in for nearly 5 decades. Well, that was your 6 o'clock news update. Let's get a look at what's happening in the world of sport. Graham has all those details.
Let's kick it off with the cup action here in South Africa, starting with football. Free State Stars beat Maritzburg United by a 1-0 on Saturday to lift the Nedbank Cup trophy in Cape Town. So the victory saw Stars claim their first competitive trophy since 1994 in a win that also secured their place in next season's CAF Confederations Cup. Whilst in the PSL relegation promotion playoffs this weekend, things still getting interesting. Jomo Cosmos and Black Leopards played out to a 2-2 draw yesterday. Then staying with Cup glory, Chelsea won their 8th FA Cup title on Saturday. That was after they beat Manchester United by a 0-0 at Wembley Stadium. The only goal of the game came in the 22nd minute as Eden Hazard converted a penalty after he was brought down in the box by Phil Jones. Up next, the football world turns its attention to the biggest game on the calendar. Champions League final action as Liverpool take on Real Madrid in Kiev this coming Saturday. Then moving on to rugby, week 14 of Super Rugby wrapped up this weekend and it saw wins for the Lions and the Sharks. Let's start at Ellis Park on Saturday, where the Lions stormed to their 7th win of the season as they scored 6 tries on their way to a pretty crushing 42-24 win over a depleted Brumbies side. Elsewhere, the Sharks beat the Chiefs by 28 points to 24. The Bulls were thrashed 54-24 by the Jaguares, while the Stormers, they went down to the Sunwolves by 26 points to 23. Then finally onto cricket, our Protea women's cricket team, they seem unstoppable at the moment. They wrapped up a 3-0 T20 series victory over Bangladesh yesterday. That was after a 23-run win in the final match in Bloem. With rain disrupting play, the match was reduced to just 9 overs apiece. Now first, South Africa made 64 for 4 before restricting Bangladesh to 41 for 6 in their innings. So the victory sees SA finish the tour without a single loss as they won that ODI series with a 5-0 whitewash victory there as well, and the 3-0 T20 victory. Congratulations, ladies. And that's where we leave our sport for now.
Well, let's get your morning underway by taking a look at what to expect in your temperatures today. It seems like KZN can expect warm temperatures, while in the Cape it's wet and cold conditions. But starting off in Polokwane, you can expect a minimum of 9 with a maximum of 23. Sunny in Mbombela, 14 with a high of 28. Pretoria, 10, 22. Johannesburg, 8 with a high of 20. Mahikeng, 9, reaching a high of 24. Cloudsthorpe 8 reaching a high of 23, Kimberley 4 with a maximum of 21, Bloemfontein 2 reaching a high of 19. Sunny conditions in Richards Bay, 16 is your minimum, 29 your maximum. Pietermaritzburg 11, 26, Durban 18, 27, Mthatha 8 with a high of 26. East London 15, 25, Cradock 7, 21, Port Elizabeth a low of 14 with a high of 25. George partly cloudy, 13 is your minimum, 24 your maximum. Sutherland 6 with a high of 12. Cape Town 14 reaching a cool 17. Worcester 12 with a maximum of 18. Springbok 6 with a high of 19. And Uppington a low of 6 with a high of 20 degrees Celsius expected. And that's where we leave your weather for now. I'll have another update for you in half an hour.
Well, we live in a world that is constantly changing and life is just getting so much faster by the day, don't you think? So let's just slow things down and welcome today, the 21st of May, and take a look at what happened today in history.
Let's do that. So on this day in 2005, the world's tallest roller coaster, the King Dakar, opened at the Six Flags Great Adventure Park in New Jersey. An impressive ride that stands at a height of 139 meters and is also the second fastest roller coaster in the world. Truly an adrenaline junkie's dream ride. Look at that.
Oh my word. Oh, as much as I hate it, I'm sure I want to go and do one of these things one day. Exactly. Somebody that I love, Amelia Earhart, was forced to land in a pasture in Derry, Northern Ireland due to bad weather on the 21st of May in 1932, and thereby became the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean, which I think is wonderful.
Absolutely. I'm just imagining the task that must have been. The Atlantic Ocean is pretty massive.
It is.
And also on this day in 2011, American radio host Harold Camping predicted that the world would end and that Judgment Day would take place on the 21st of May 2011. But of course, we all know how that ended.
It's the end of the world as we know it. Come again.
Maybe it ended,
time.
We just don't know it yet.
Exactly. We're still catching on to it like 7 years later. Anyways, that is our bite-sized dose of what happened on this day in history. Go out there and make it one for the books.
Well, now that we know the world hasn't ended, well, maybe not for all the Man United fans out there, Kat and I are going to chew through some of the sporting highlights, a lot of cup action. Then we've also got the details on how you can tour with the Boks for an entire year. We'll give you some tips and tricks on what you need to put into your audition video. We'll see you for that after the break.
Give me the music up. Wendi avuma Dekubeki na wekhava Hindu to mehlweni There is so
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. Time for us to go over to the socials. Graham is motivating us and saying, come on, you can do it. Why is he saying this? Because we want to know from you, how do you motivate yourself to get up and slay the day, especially on a Monday? Let's see. Eddie says, good morning. Motivate myself by listening to music, especially Casper Vest. Kia says, I motivate myself by looking at my priorities, my visions, and my missions. Wow, I love that. Tabiso says, J. Cole's album. And then Garth Lafreda says, good morning, peeps. I just motivate myself for the day, and it's my goal to keep somebody else happy as well. Very, very cool. I love this. Keep it coming. How do you motivate yourself to slay the day on a Blue Monday?
Well, it is a brand new week, which means it's time for us to get our fitness on, and who better to ask than manager and head trainer at F45 Camps Bay, Lee Thompson, back in studio with us.
Good to be here, thank you.
Good to have you. Yes. So what do you got planned for us this morning?
So today we're going to be doing exercises using nothing but your body weight.
Okay.
So no equipment needed, no excuses not to train.
Okay.
Okay.
I normally find body weight exercises the ones to generally leave me the most
They really are tough, and I'll show you exactly how tough. So starting with a sumo squat, feet nice and wide apart, toes pointed outwards. We're going to drop down for a deep squat and pulsate there for 3 reps. So it's 3, 2, 1, and bring it back up to the starting point, squeezing those glutes on the way up. And let's go for another set. 1, 2, 3, and up we get. Cool, good job, Joey. One more to go, let's go. 3, 2, 1, and back up. Great. Do you find that working the glutes quite nicely?
Yes, it's a nice little good glute workout.
Okay, next one, we're gonna go for alternating lunges. So feet together, hands to your side, taking a nice big step forward and dropping your knee down to the ground without letting it touch, and bringing it back to the starting point. And now alternating to the other side. That's good. Let's go for 4 more.
Okay, balance is of course very important here.
Of course, yeah. So you want to lock the core, which will just help stabilize your balance, and you can't really fall over if your core is strong. That's it, and let's go for 1 more.
For people doing this at home, how much would you recommend in terms of reps and sets?
So I'd recommend they would do 3 sets of 10 to start with, and as you get stronger, build up the reps to 15 and then 20.
Okay.
Cool, yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay, so next exercise, we're going to go to the lunge with a twist. So a nice big step forward, twisting to the side, getting the upper body involved, and then back to the starting point. So right leg, right twist. Now you'll feel your obliques coming into play quite nicely.
Yes.
Alternating sides as you go. Also working the shoulders as you'll feel.
A good stretch.
Exactly. So you want to hold it down there for 2 seconds and then get that twist in and then back up to the starting point.
There we go.
Let's go for 1 more. And back to the starting point.
There we go.
Great.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, Lee, you're going to be back for round 2 of a morning workout.
Yes,
it was great that this morning we got to do a body weight workout, which is perfect because you have no excuses. You can do it at home, you can do it while you're on the go. But of course, Lee Thompson's going to be back with us a little bit later for round 2.
Well, whether blue, purple, yellow, pink or orange, Mondays are one of my favorite days. And one of the reasons for that, one of the many reasons, are the fantastic everyday South African heroes that we meet as Mandela Monday heroes. And Ralph Bauer, founder of Guardians of National Treasure, is our latest.
Sports in the communities on the Cape Flats can be a very powerful tool to empower the youth and bring change about in these communities. The Cape Flats has very troubled communities with the gang violence and the drug and substance abuses. So we can use sports to recruit those children and then keep them away from being recruited by the gang and drugs and all the drug cartels in the communities.
One of 8 children in his family, entertainer Ralph Bauer has returned from a career in Great Britain to offer our national treasure, our kids, some solid ground to build their lives on.
I've been in the UK for 13 years. I've gained a lot of experience in the UK. It's important that we give back to our communities, and a person's purpose in life will actually determine where you end up. And I think my purpose in life is to be able to come back to our community and uplift those communities and assist those youngsters to become successful, to be able to go abroad. Come on! Whether it's in sports or education, and to make sure that they have the right platform to be able to reach their dreams and goals.
Sports is very, very important for youngsters, especially football 3. It's a normal sports, but it's more like installing that discipline into the children from a very young age. The thing that I love about football 3 is you can implement it at home as well. So if you hurt someone at home or at school, you can basically then tell that person, listen here, I'm sorry for what I've done. I didn't do it intentionally, I'm sorry. So that is the positives that football 3 gives the children. So football 3 it's totally different from the normal football.
Last year, May, we started with about 12 youngsters playing soccer on Load Street in Lavender Hill. Today we have 9 teams and over 7 divisions on the local LFA and on South Peninsula. And that gives us the opportunity to then give them that healing component and to give them that guided border support that we want for our youth to make sure that when they're older, they are a bit better.
Under the auspices of Ralph, he is doing a good thing for the Lavender Hill area. He have now brought 100+ new members, new youth to this LFA. And he have promised that there's more kids that's sitting on the corners that he want to bring to this LFA.
Sports in this community is a healing component, and when we have the sports, we're able to take our kids and then give them the support by using sports and then tapping into the education system. We can tap into the arts and culture and even the body and soul where the faith-based situations is concerned. So we can use sports to be able to, as a diversion tool, to make sure that our kids has a more holistic lifestyle.
What I love about soccer is coming far in life and attending a good club and playing for maybe other countries and stuff.
Every Saturday you meet different kinds of clubs, different kinds of people, and Ralph has made a big difference in like the soccer and like everybody in the community helping where he can and doing his best.
Where most of us love, we have a bad community. So if we can play soccer, like take most of our time of the day, so we don't need to go into our areas to go into that bad community.
I love playing soccer because it's my passion. Practicing twice a week is a good thing because we come on the field and we show what we practiced, and beating teams make me feel better because I don't want to be in the losing side.
Lavendale has changed over the last year. The community is quite supportive, and they're on board with the Guardians of the National Treasure. We are there to support and uplift the community, and over the time frame, it's changed dramatically.
And of course, there were other results that we spoke about during the sports report earlier this morning. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time that we discuss some serious things. We're talking the opportunity of a lifetime, at least if you are one mega Bok fan out there who doesn't miss a game, who knows all the players, remembers all the tries and the scores from each and every match out there, who will never miss a game. Then I'm pretty sure that we've all wondered what the team does, eh? When they're not on the field, what do they do for fun? What do they do on the field?
How much do they eat?
Yeah, how much do they eat? What it feels like to travel the world with them and be a world-class team. Well, you have an opportunity.
Yep, and that's courtesy of MTN, the official team sponsor for the Springboks. They're looking for that mega fan that will travel with the Boks for an entire year and get paid for it. You'll literally go on tour with the team, attend every local and international game, all the training sessions, and everything in between. You can bunk, maybe not in a bed next to them, but on the floor next to them. When they wake up in the morning, you can be there. Awesome, man.
Yeah, so to win this experience, record a short audition video of yourself showcasing why you're the guy or the girl for this job, and upload your video to mtncallup.mobi. This prize is valued at approximately 2 million rand, all expenses paid, plus a monthly fee. So make sure that you enter and do so before the 27th of May. Show why you are
find you
the buzzer of the team.
Ever wondered what it's like to be a Springbok? To experience the pre-game build-up and see how it's done with thousands of fans cheering you on? Well, now you can. MTN is looking for a buzzer that will connect the Boks with the world. Someone who will follow the Springbok team and tell stories from the road. Someone who can rally the nation and be the eyes and ears of Mzansi. So how do you get the call-up to become the buzzer of the Springbok team? Do you have a passion for rugby? Are you slick with social media? And do you know how to use your phone to capture it all? First, create a video telling us why you should be the buzzer of the Springbok team. Then head over to mtncallup.mobi to submit your application. Check out hashtag MTNCallup to see what it's all about. T's and C's apply.
Well, still to come on your feel-good breakfast show. I don't know about you, but I am still obsessed with hashtag royal wedding. Coming up after the break, we talk about Meghan Markle's dog that has now become royalty. And then we have more royalty in studio. Zahara is here, and we get to know her a little bit more after the break. The princess is here.
to your feel-good breakfast show, and it's exactly time for that now, for us to bring you some feel-good news on your Monday to make sure you get to kick off, or at least kick away those Monday blues.
Yeah, do that. We need that. I've got some feel-good in my cup right now, but
that's right. Well, listen, this past weekend, I think all eyes were on the royal wedding, but there was one member in the family that kept his eyes firmly on the royal treats. I'm talking about Meghan Markle's dog, and I think what's cool about this story is she's got a little beagle named Guy that she adopted in 2015 in Canada. But I think what makes Guy's story so interesting is his journey to Canada. He was originally found in the United States, lost, and he was put on a list to be euthanized, and eventually there was a beagle rescue organization in Canada that heard about him and brought him all the way to Canada, and it was at one of their events that Meghan adopted him.
Oh, what a sweet story.
I know.
And so is Guy now in...
They haven't confirmed whether he's there, but I can imagine he must be. It's her dog.
Like, what a wild ride. Like, yo, dudes, I nearly died and look at me now. It's like royalty.
Royal treats, just caviar and just cool doggy treats.
The whole time. Oh, I hope he's enjoying it so much. Well, from one lucky dog to a lucky couple, in Staten Island, United States, last week, in fact, husband and wife Matthew and Maria Emanuel found a rusty old box buried in their garden while they were planting some new trees. So they opened the box and they found wads of $100 bills, a variety of jewelry, all amounting to a total value of more than 650,000 rand. Now, what gives this story even more feel-good vibes is that they also found a note inside that linked the box back to one of their neighbors. It turns out it's a safe that was stolen from them during a house robbery 7 years ago, and the neighbors had completely written it off. So Matthew returned the safe and all of its contents to the original owners, and when asked why he didn't keep it, he responded, "That was never a question, it wasn't ours." Let's just hope that, you know, the insurance company didn't find out, because now the insurance company will be like, "We paid you for that, now you got to pay us back," but you know what it is. Let's hope they were kind neighbors, hey?
Yes.
So you know what, you've been so good to us. We actually got this money however many years ago. You keep the cash, we'll keep the jewelry for sentimental purposes.
They probably won't do that, but I think you can take a little something from it, like perhaps you lost something, you can have good faith someone will return it to you.
Would you give them some of that money?
I would give them, well, if I had lost the money and found it, probably I would give them a thank you gift.
What's a thank you gift, Zoe? Just explain that to us quickly.
Cake.
Flowers. And invite them for dinner.
Why? Feel good news for you.
In the national news this morning, President Cyril Ramaphosa says it will become clear through different initiatives that there is no single solution to the land question. He was speaking at the ANC's first land summit in Boksburg on Saturday. A study just released says almost all children in South Africa are either beaten by their parents, sexually abused by acquaintances, or bullied on the playground before they turn 18. 99% of witnesses, or rather have witnessed violence or been a victim of it. On the international front, the Mexican charter company, owners of the plane that crashed in Cuba on Friday, killing 110 people on board, amongst them 10 priests and their wives, have received prior safety complaints. The crash was Cuba's deadliest air disaster in more than 30 years. And then finally, Zakuma National Park in Chad hasn't suffered a confirmed poaching incident since January 2016, thanks to heightened security at the park and the increasing support of surrounding communities. Well, that was your 6:30 news update. I'll have a full bulletin for you at the top of the hour.
Let's kick it off with local football and cup action. At that, Free State Stars beat Maritzburg United by a goal to nil on Saturday to lift the Nedbank Cup trophy in Cape Town. A little further afield, Chelsea won their 8th FA Cup title on Saturday after they beat Manchester United by a goal to nil at Wembley Stadium. Then on to rugby. Weeks 14 of Super Rugby wrapped up this weekend as the Lions beat the Brumbies by 42 points to 24, while the Sharks down the Chiefs 28-24. Then on to cricket. Our Proteas women's cricket team wrapped up a 3-0 T20 series victory over Bangladesh yesterday, thanks to a 23-run win in that final match in Bloem. We'll expand on all of those stories on the top of the hour.
Well, let's take a first look at your roads for this morning. Starting off in Gauteng and Bedford View, there's been an accident on the N3 northbound on the link to the N12 East Galulies interchange, so you can expect delays from the Elands interchange. I'll have another update for you in half an hour.
More than a club, more than an appliance brand. Defy.
Well, it seems like warm temperatures can be expected in the KZN region, while cold and wet conditions are expected in the mother city. But looking at those temperatures, Polokwane, your minimum is 9 with a maximum of 23. Mbombela 14, 24. Pretoria 10, reaching a high of 22. Johannesburg 8 with a maximum of 20. Mahikeng 9, reaching a high of 24. Partly cloudy conditions in Klerksdorp, 8 your minimum, 23 your maximum. Kimberley 4, 21. Bloemfontein 2 with a high of 19. Sunny conditions in Richards Bay, 16 is your minimum, 29 your maximum. Pietermaritzburg 11, 26. Durban 18, 27. Mthatha 8 with a high of 26. East London 15, reaching a high of 25. Partly cloudy conditions in Cradock, 7 is your minimum, 21 your maximum. Port Elizabeth 14, reaching a high of 25. Partly cloudy conditions in George, 13 with a high of 24. Sutherland 6 with a maximum of 12. Cape Town rain expected with a low of 14, a high of 17. Worcester 12 with a high of 18. Springbok 6 reaching a high of 19. And Uppington 6 your minimum and 20 your maximum. That's where we leave your weather for now on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Expresso. It's morning.
Oh, I love it. You walked right into a mic test, which is absolutely amazing because it's a Monday morning. Zahara is in the studio. And of course, it's that time of the morning where we have our first sip of cups or a cup of coffee in the morning. And then we get to know our guest artist with a 1 minute long rapid fire question series. Already, Suzanne?
Yo, I can go.
Here we go. Start the clock. Your favorite color?
Oh my God, it's red, pink, yeah.
It's everything. What's your biggest pet peeve? What do you hate the most?
Nothing that I hate, but I'm scared of kids and...
Okay.
And creepy crawling.
Okay. Morning person or night owl?
It doesn't really matter because I'm an artist.
Okay. Favorite word?
God.
Fruit or vegetables?
Vegetables.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise?
Both.
Bacon or Nutella?
Okay, I will do.
Yes. Who's the last person you texted?
I can go.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Your favorite sports team?
Okay, Bafana.
Okay, right. Twitter or Instagram?
Neither.
Neither. Coffee or tea?
Oh, all of them, because I need them. 3 of them.
Okay, you need all 3 of them.
All of them. They're social.
It's fine. You need the whole socials.
Social.
Suzanne, it's so good to have you here so early on a Monday morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And it's amazing to have somebody of your caliber of music and success. I mean, when you dropped your debut album, I understand that it went gold within how many hours?
6 hours.
Within 6 hours. Do those things ever even happen in real life anymore? Do those things still happen to you? Do you find your music is still as successful? Do you place pressure on yourself to be that successful still?
It's not about that. When it comes to me, even when I came with Loliwe, it wasn't about making hits and for fame or for imali.
Yeah.
I just wanted people to hear my story.
Yeah.
So I guess people, they still want to hear my story. They still want to know where I'm at. What am I doing? My flaws and my highs and my lows and my downs. They still want to know. Maybe because I guess people, they still want to find their story in my story. Because for me, it's not about that. If I was about that, I would have gold in 6 hours. I never even put out a single. I just said, if you want to hear my story, go and hear my album.
There's the album.
It's because they understand. I'll be telling them my story.
Yeah.
Maybe, for example, people on the radio, they're playing their own song, not on Umkod. Okay, the album is called Umkod. But it's not really a single because I just dropped an album.
Yeah.
But it's Umkodi from Loliwe, Pendula, Country Girl to Umkodi. That's how my life, I tell my life story.
Yes.
So each and every time. So it's not really pressure because I still have to say, okay, can I break a little bit? Can I?
Can I take a little bit of a break from all this?
No, I'm saying, can I brag?
You can brag, yes. Go ahead, brag.
For example, there's so many things that have been said about me, but there's things that you don't actually say about me. That a village girl in Tombi Yaselalini, Yafika, I broke all records. Musically, I'm talking about sales, I'm talking about awards, and I still have to break my own record when it comes to awards. I still have to break my own records when it comes to sales. Still now, I'm a People's Choice in the UK, not in South Africa, in the UK. To go and represent Tata Mandela. No, it's not about that. But I remember when we went to the nominations of the summer, I was like, it's not even about that. I'm not here to be nominated. I'm not here for whatever. I was favored already by God, and I'm doing this because I want to show that girl that does not have a dream, that has a dream and think it cannot come through. If God has done it with me, I mean, anyway. If we took I'm doing bani miliche nje lingawoyikanga elangaphela so nakuwe wherever you are it can happen. It's not about the standards or whatever man they can put in kuwe. It's about, do you know what we were born for?
And look at how big it's happening for you now. You're going to the UK to perform at Dr. Nelson Mandela's centenary concert, which is absolutely amazing. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, as well as enjoy music from you. I can't wait. Monday mornings will never be the same. Zahara's in the studio, ladies and gentlemen. Come on.
Will never be the same, indeed. Well, listen, we are taking a very quick break on your Feel Good Breakfast show. When we get back, we are celebrating women in business at the most recent Women in Business Gala dinner.
Then an incredible woman in business and philanthropy, Catherine Constantinides, is here, former Miss Earth. She is going to be helping us recognize the incredible efforts in the Zahara refugee aid at the moment, and she has done some incredible work. It's going to be an amazing chat. Stick around.
Enjoy a moment in between with McCafe. See you after the break.
very good morning to you. Happy Monday, and thanks for choosing to start your day off with us as we take a moment to reflect on some local entertainment news, rather, and hopefully some good news to celebrate.
But our locals are making waves internationally. I see where you're coming with that. Exactly. Now, the supermodel that we all know and love, Candice Swanepoel, who is South African, by the way, is celebrating her burgeoning baby bump, and it basically suggests that it's not too long before she will be becoming a mom for the second time. Now, the South African-born beauty is counting the days to the arrival of her and Brazilian fiancé Herman Nicolai's second son, and she clearly can't wait to be a mom when she captioned this picture, "Waiting for him." And it was recently captured when she posted this picture, which looks absolutely beautiful.
Burgeoning baby bump indeed.
Exactly. Now, it seems that she's quite comfortable with the added kilos to her trim figure, and it's hard to imagine her looking lovelier. She's just glowing. She really is. Motherhood looks so good on her, and we know that last month the Victoria's Secret stunner revealed how excited her one-year-old Anaka is with the prospect of soon becoming a big brother. So Candice loves being a mother and recently opened up about what it means to her to be welcoming a child into the world. She said, "Motherhood isn't always easy, but it is the most satisfying, powerful experience I've ever had. There are so many different emotions every day. The boundless love I feel for my son has given me a kind of power I never realized I had. It's a patient and gentle power, something that's only possible when you've become responsible for bringing another human into the world." So we want to say we can't wait for the two of them to bring the next human into the world.
Well, it's quite cute that she's got, well, expecting boy number 2, but Bahari Prince, who also welcomed her second one, has 2 little girls, and now she will have 2 little boys.
I am loving it. I'm loving it.
Team mummies.
Exactly. Something that I'm also loving it while we have time. Trevor Noah is doing huge things. He's one of the biggest comedic exports to come from South Africa, and he recently posted on Instagram photos of his O2 Arena show that was mind-blowing. In an emotional post, he acknowledges where he had come from and where he currently is, and he said this, I loved it. "When I performed here for my first solo show in London, I had 150 amazing people in the audience. 6 years later, I have 16,000 people that joined me in the O2 Arena in London for one of the greatest shows of my life. Thank you, everyone, for making last night a dream come true." And then he also said something about the royals. He said, "And thank you so much to Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. I know you wanted to come, but you already paid for the church." So I'm sure they wanted to be there, but I'm sure they'll check you out in due course as well.
Can you imagine the level of growth that is? From 150 people, 6 years later to 16,000. I mean,
and
just do the math. Do the math. Do the math.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
well
Congratulations to you, man. Wow. Wow.
Well done.
Wow.
Well, South Africans are doing some incredible things, including Margaret Hirsch, who's come from humble beginnings and is a leading example for businesswomen in South Africa. I mean, Margaret Hirsch has won multiple awards herself, and she wants to make sure that women in business in South Africa are recognized for the hard work that they do, and that is all, of course, with a gala dinner.
Tonight, along with Margaret Hirsch, we are celebrating successful women in business here at the Queen of Hearts Gala Dinner in Umhlanga. And if the previous year's events were anything to go by, then tonight is sure to be an evening filled with glitz and glamour. Recognizing women who are thriving in business, the Queen of Hearts Gala Dinner will announce the top 3 Margaret Hirsch Women in Business Achievers for the year for KwaZulu-Natal. Margaret, why is it so important to have events like this that honor women and inspire women to achieve their best in the sphere of business?
Women traditionally don't like to put themselves forward. They don't like to say, I'm wonderful, I'm great, I'm marvelous. So they tend to put themselves down a lot. So this is a way of encouraging them to say how fantastic they are, so they do their best every single day. That somebody will say, well done and thank you. But as soon as you get a bit of self-confidence, everything comes up. It changes your life for the best.
Lucy Hirsch, what does it mean to you to be surrounded by such incredible women here tonight?
It's wonderful to be here this evening and just to be around these women that are just so real about what it takes. It takes blood, sweat and tears. You've got to just keep moving forward, one foot in front of each other. But the thing is, at the end of the day, you get where you need to be. Don't sweat the small stuff, don't get too emotional, and just keep going.
Women for a very long time have not been recognized, in this country. So having an event like this here is actually like a great way to honor the women. And I think it's actually very important because it also makes us as women feel very special. I mean, because women are being recognized now, and yeah, so we feel like we actually have a place in this country.
Margaret Hirsch creates an amazing platform for women like us to build businesses.
Through the Women in Business Awards, Margaret Hirsch is uplifting and recognizing women for their outstanding accomplishments in business, while giving them a platform to network, connect and support each other in achieving their goals.
I'm proud and honored to be associated with such a reputable company, the Hirsches, and also very proud to be associated with such an international icon, Mrs. Margaret Hirsch.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, our 2018 Margaret Hirsch Women in Business.
Why do you think it's important to have platforms like these that recognize and support women who want to grow in business?
Well, it gives women a platform to be able to express their passion in their business and to share that passion with other women. And I believe that women are more passionate when it comes to certain things because we carry our heart in our sleeves. So in terms of environment or communities or things like that, I think we can make a huge difference.
So I think women must realize that they must follow their dream. They must go out, get it, have the courage to do that, be confident, and whatever their goal is, they will achieve it if they believe it.
Ellen, such an incredible event that you've had tonight. How do you feel about the way things have gone down?
You know, there's a light and there's a footstep, and women can start follow those footsteps and they can see there's a brighter future for them. Many women just believe they stay at home, they look after the children. I think of my mother, she used to do it. Today it's completely different. They've got careers, they're successful, they're CEOs, they can achieve anything. And the nice thing is they do.
I am really proud of each and every single one of them. What I love the most is they really are a diverse bunch of women. We have got gardeners, we have got lawyers and bankers and all sorts of things that are going on inside here. So we pretty much have got it all covered. I can officially say that the whole pool is very well represented tonight.
It was a fabulous event. I just think the atmosphere was electric. Everybody there was a winner. Everybody there is on top of their game. Every single woman there is doing exceptionally well. And isn't it amazing in this country where people are putting everybody down that we are doing so well? Businesses are out there. Abundance is out there. So we have to go out and get it. Thank you.
Tonight's celebration of inspirational women who have achieved success in business is just one of the ways that Margaret Hirsch is sharing her passion for empowering women in the sphere of business.
So now we've had it already this morning, and we're going to continue on a Monday motivational path this morning. We've got Catherine Constantinides in studio. She spent the better part of the past 4 years in the Sahrawi refugee camps, amplifying the cry for self-determination and human rights in way beyond a troubled region. And she was recently awarded with honorary membership to the Sahrawi National Commission for Human Rights for her efforts. And she joins Expresso this morning to share some of the meaning behind, I think, this recognition. I want to say we want to celebrate it, but in light of the conditions in that area, it's difficult to celebrate anything. But well done, Catherine, first of all.
Thank you.
Just for my brief understanding of this area, we are talking about a collection of refugee camps that have existed for decades now, established in the 70s and lived through decades of civil war in probably the most inhospitable part of the world. Can you just lay it bare for us? What are conditions like in those refugee camps from your first-hand experience?
You know, the conditions are so harsh. First, from a climatic perspective, you're in the middle of the Sahara Desert, so summers are extremely hot. I got back a couple of days ago and we were starting to hit 42 degrees on average during the day, and you then have evenings where it's a lot cooler. But it's a war-torn area. There is a humanitarian crisis in those very refugee camps. And as you have mentioned, there are generations of children that are growing up and becoming adults and having their own children, growing up in a refugee camp where they know nothing outside of this very space that they occupy.
Born there, raised a family there, and most of them will probably die in that space. Out of all of the things coming from the Miss Earth, and you've done amazing things with the Miss Earth pageant, so you deserve kudos for that as well, but many would have thought that the environmental issues would have pulled you. What drew you to this plight? And ultimately, what is the end game here? What is the goal?
Well, the goal ultimately is self-determination of the Sahrawi people. It is the only goal. We have to make sure that leaders around the world rally around the table together to allow for a referendum to take place so that the Sahrawi people get to choose their own future and they get to go home. A referendum and self-determination has to be the ultimate goal. And through the work that I've done, solidarity is very important for the Sahrawi people. So no matter if they are in the refugee camp, in the occupied territory, because there are still a huge population of Sahrawis in the occupied territory, occupied illegally by Morocco. So there are so many of them, and ultimately there are many climate conditions that I address while I do my work there.
What's the magic component that we are missing here? How do we address 3 decades of an inability to be able to change the situation? Where do you think the answer really lies? Is it within the Moroccan government? Where is that answer, do you think?
It's so difficult to say because I've had the privilege of working at the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva, and at that level you realize that a lack of political will is missing. And because there's a lack of political will, there are children that are growing up without access to safe, clean drinking water. They're living in conditions where they're living in unlivable land in the Sahara Desert. But we have to continue to fight because as South Africa went through its darkest history and period, we relied on international solidarity and people outside of our country highlighting the issue. So I'm trying to do the same along with other international activists, and we have to make sure that the voice of civil society is heard, ensuring that we continue to highlight and push that this issue must become an issue that's a priority on the UN agenda. It is the oldest withstanding issue on the UN agenda that has not been resolved.
I'm confounded as to why that has not happened, but equally so about how you've taken on this, what would seem like an insurmountable challenge, but you are doing it. And as South Africans, as anyone with the power of social media, we can have a voice. So I urge you, please join your voice to Catherine's. Thank you so much for joining us, and well done once again on just being recognised, but I think more importantly for continuing the work that you're doing in that area is absolutely amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you. But it's important. I think social media is a powerful platform and people need to use it to share the story of the people of Western Sahara. There's a hashtag people can start to use from this Africa Day at Stand in the Sand, and this is an opportunity for ordinary citizens to take up the opportunity to stand with the Sahrawi people who have been stuck in the sand for 45 years.
Take the initiative right now. Very inspiring, and I think not just from being a powerful woman's perspective, but from what an ordinary South African can do with the platform that they are given. That is Monday motivation.
Oh, what incredible and inspirational work, Catherine. Well, we're about to take a very quick break on your Feel Good Breakfast show. How does a cookies and cream milkshake sound?
Sounds very, very good.
We're whipping that up after the break.
The kind of breakfast I want to have. And we'll add to that as well a live performance from Zahara coming to you live from your Feel Good Breakfast show.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast show. You've tuned in at just the right time. We're about to have music from, I can call her iconic singer-songwriter Zahara, who's in our studio performing music from her latest album. And this time round, the title track called Mgodi.
Into
to start a Monday morning. Beautiful music from Zahara from her latest album, the title track, Ngoti. Oh, wow. Lovely. Beautiful stuff. Wow. I want to talk about that song because it seems when you perform it, it takes you somewhere. I'm just going to ask you to take the strap off the microphone there. Where does that song take you to when you perform Ngoti?
Like I said, I tell a story.
Yeah.
From Ololiwe to Upendula to Country Girl. I feel like I came into this world and I've recognized and I've realized in the Bonba and when I found it, it was up to me to let it go. And then, or to be like Tata Mandela, and it's okay, I've seen what I was born for. I'm going to work towards this, and this is how I'm and then the figure with destiny. And I felt like I was stepping on somebody else's shoes. Because I felt like I was being chased for no reason. So, you know when you are chased, you will find whatever, a hiding place for yourself. So you're going to hide yourself, but there are reasons. Now, I wrote the song Umkoti, and it's the title track of the album. It's the whole album, because I tell a story from track 1 and to track, the last track.
Yes.
It's because when you get to that hiding place, you never calculated that you will be chased when you're getting out of the house like this, with your lipstick on, makeup on fleck and everything, dress on fleck. And then you never thought that anyone would be chasing you. And when you find that hiding place, what do? Now all your enemies have passed, but now it's your choice. Now, what are you going to do? How are you going to get up? But still, do you have a rope to get up?
Yeah.
So you have to toss that shoe.
Beautiful stuff. Well, that's the story you need to hear when you get the album Ngoti. Let us know what you thought about that performance. We'll have more from Zahara later.
In the national news this morning, President Cyril Ramaphosa says it will become clear through different initiatives that there is no single solution to the land question. The president says when it comes to the issue of land, a range of interventions to address a diversity of needs across a wide range of circumstances is required. He was speaking at the ANC's first land summit in Boksburg on Saturday. Ramaphosa says different avenues need to be explored and that clear programs are needed to assist emerging agricultural enterprises. Almost all children in South Africa are either beaten by their parents, sexually abused by acquaintances, or bullied on the playground before they turn 18. 99% have witnessed violence or been a victim of it. These findings have just been released by the Birth to 20+ study conducted by the Department of Science and Technology and the National Research Foundation Centre of Excellence in Human Development at Wits University. Professor Linda Richter, the centre's director, says the project was done in Soweto on 3,273 babies since the early 1990s and holds true for South Africa at large. Now moving further abroad, the Mexican charter company owners of the plane which crashed near Havana in Cuba on Friday had received prior safety complaints, two ex-pilots say. Amongst the 110 people on board that were killed were 10 priests and their wives. 3 women survived the crash, Cuba's deadliest air disaster in more than 30 years. Mexican authorities say they will carry out a safety audit of the company. Cuban authorities have also launched an investigation as rescuers continue to comb through the wreckage site. And then finally, Zakuma National Park in Chad hasn't suffered a confirmed poaching incident since January 2016, thanks to heightened security at the park and the increasing support of surrounding communities. In recent years, it's become a rare haven for Africa's imperiled elephants. The park's elephant herd numbers 500 and is one of the largest surviving in Central Africa. 6 black rhinos were recently flown to Zakuma from South Africa, reuniting the threatened animal with a land it hadn't roamed in nearly 5 decades. Well, that was your 7 o'clock news update. Let's get a look at what's happening in the world of sport. Here's Graham.
Let's kick it off with Cup action this morning, and glory at that for Free State Stars. They beat Maritzburg United by 1-0 on Saturday to lift the Nedbank Cup trophy in Cape Town. The victory saw Stars claim their first competitive trophy since 1994 in a win that also secured their place in next season's CAF Confederations Cup. And of course, in the PSL, things hotting up in the relegation promotion playoffs this weekend. Jomo Cosmos and Black Leopards played out to a 2-2 draw yesterday. And staying with football, more Cup action. Chelsea won their 8th FA Cup title on Saturday after they beat Manchester United by 1-0 at Wembley Stadium. The only goal of the game came in the 22nd minute as Eden Hazard converted a penalty after he was brought down in the box by Phil Jones. So up next, the football world turns its attention to the Champions League final. That as Liverpool take on Real Madrid in Kiev this coming Saturday. Then on to rugby. Week 14 of Super Rugby wrapped up this weekend, and it saw wins for the Lions and the Sharks on the local front. At Ellis Park on Saturday, the Lions stormed to their 7th win of the season, getting themselves back on track as they scored 6 tries on their way to a pretty crushing 42-24 win in the end. That was, of course, over the Brumbies. Elsewhere, the Sharks beat the Chiefs by 28 points to 24. The Bulls were surprisingly thrashed 54-24 by the Jaguares, while the Stormers, they went down narrowly to the Sunwolves by 26 points to 23. Then finally on to cricket. They seem to be unstoppable. Our Proteas women's cricket team wrapped up a 3-0 T20 series victory over Bangladesh yesterday, thanks to a 23-run win in that final match in Bloem. With rain disrupting play, the match was reduced to 9 overs apiece. Up first, South Africa made 64 for 4 before restricting Bangladesh to 41 for 6 in their innings. So the victory sees South Africa finish the tour without a single loss as they won the ODI series with that 5-0 whitewash before their 3-0 whitewash victory in the T20s as well. So well done, ladies. We'll touch on those headlines again in a half hour. Let's get you a traffic update.
Well, let's take another look at what to expect in your traffic. Starting off in Gauteng in central Johannesburg. There's been an accident on the M2 eastbound near the Joe Slovo Drive exit. You can expect delays approaching the scene. And then in the Western Cape in Athlone, traffic is slow moving on the N2 inbound. That's between Airport and Rappenburg Road exit. We'll have another traffic update for you in half an hour.
More than a club, more than an appliance brand. Defy.
Taking another look at real temperatures for today, it seems like KZN can expect warm temperatures, while in Cape Town some wet and cold conditions are expected. Polokwane, your minimum for this morning is 9 with a high of 23. Mbumbela 14 reaching a high of 28. Pretoria 10 with a maximum of 22. Johannesburg 8 reaching a high of 20. Mahikeng 9 reaching a high of 24. Klerksdorp 8 23. Kimberley 4 with a high of 21. Bloemfontein 219. Richards Bay sunny with a low of 16, a high of 29. Pietermaritzburg 11:26, Durban 18 with a high of 27. Mthatha 8:26, East London 15 with a high of 25. Cradock 7 reaching a high of 21. Port Elizabeth 14 with a high of 25, George 13 reaching a high of 24, Sutherland 6 with a high of 12, Cape Town 14 reaching a high of 17, rain is expected in Worcester, a low of 12, a high of 18, Springbok 6:19, and Uppington a low of 6 with a high of 20 degrees Celsius. And that's where we leave your weather on this Feel Good Morning.
Well, we'll pick it up from the weather right now to check out some of the interesting, funny and random things that we've stumbled across on social media and hopefully put a smile on your dial. Guys,
she is back. We heard her rant about the Debbie Downer. Now this cutie little cesspot is back to talk about the one-upper. Take a look.
What is this? Yes, that's it.
Oh, wow.
Look at us. She don't got her pearls on.
Someone against my friendship with Karen. You know what's worse than a Debbie Downer? A one-upper. I get a mosquito bite. She has the Zika virus and Ebola. I tell her a boy likes me, and sadly she has 2 boyfriends. Congratulations, Karen. You win at life. She's always like, no cake, thanks. I'm eating healthy. Then proceeds to eat all mine. Whatever I wear, she's like, oh my gosh. I think I don't need that last year. I took the best selfie. And she's like, honey, I know just the filter to fix it.
Whoa.
Thanks.
I love her. She's amazing.
A Debbie Downer and a one-upper.
We all know one.
If you have one of those in your life,
we will
tell them today. You know,
just send them a link to that video, man.
I get a mosquito bite. She's got the Zika virus. That's shocking. You know, share your stories with us on social media using #Expresso Show. Thank you.
Then we're going to take the quickest of breaks now while you go and search for that video online to send to someone. We're going to tackle Home Affairs' new ABIS system. I don't know if I'm saying that right. ABIS.
Potato. And then coming up after the break, we're getting to the kitchen where we have to make a delicious cookies and cream milkshake. Perfect.
We have to make
Monday morning. We have to.
We take a break, you take a holiday.
Enjoy a moment in between with McCafe. See you after the break.
welcome back to your Monday morning on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Right now, time for our Tech Digest, and today we're unpacking some really important news. Home Affairs Minister Malusi Gigaba has announced ABIS, a new project designed to offer a single source of biometric authentication data for citizens to make your home affairs experience easier. And we're joined by our resident tech expert, Brian Smith, to unpack this news in detail for us. Thanks for joining us as always, man.
Thank you, great for having me. Thank you.
All right, so ABIS is the new guy, but Home Affairs first had Harness. Tell us exactly what was Harness, and we'll talk more about what ABIS is.
So Harness, depending where you're from, that is the Home Affairs National Identity System.
Yes.
So that's basically the database that Home Affairs has been using since about 2015, 2016. In international standards, it's not regarded as the latest technology. It comprises biometric security, so that is security features based on features unique to yourself, like your, let's say, your fingerprints or your face, so facial recognition. And at the moment, this is the system that Home Affairs has been using. It's a manual process, so given why sometimes there are really long turnaround times when applying for a new ID document or otherwise documents from Home Affairs.
Yeah, and so now enter ABIS, which is meant to be a source of biometric authentication and all kinds of information for citizens and non-citizens. So why is that important, and what exactly would that mean?
Sure, so ABIS is what's called a multimodal biometric security system. And to break that heinous jargon down, that essentially means more than one avenue of biometric security. So like I mentioned earlier, Harness would rely on fingerprints or facial recognition. ABIS instead has multimodal capabilities wherein it can rely on fingerprints, footprints, palm prints, potentially even iris scans. And this will be the system going forward that Home Affairs underpins all of its systems on.
Yeah. With regards to the benefits it'll provide then to citizens and not non-citizens, what are they like looking forward?
Sure, so this is actually really exciting technology, given that this will not only pertain to South African citizens but non-citizens, as you mentioned. So in the first instance, this will underpin Home Affairs' new system. So this will be wherein new South African citizens registering for an ID document register through and lodge their identities on. But also that'll extend to other government agencies such as SAP, South African Police Services, even the tourism industry when enrolling non-South African citizens visiting our country.
Oh, wow. So a whole lot of information can then be gathered from this. So, I mean, looking into the future, I mean, do you anticipate any kind of problems that the system might experience or might even help solve?
So in terms of problems, there is obviously the translation from Harness now to ABIS.
Yes.
That will take some time, but I think this is something we can definitely look forward to. Identity is a very fundamental concern in South Africa. Many South African citizens simply don't have an identity number or have a duplicate identity number.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of system that will solve that problem going forward. In the layman's terms, hopefully it'll mean shorter turnaround times in Home Affairs as well. So there's a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, well, there's no way we can avoid it now, is there? Like, we are just being
thrust
into this future. We are now part of the Matrix.
We are.
Thanks so much for joining us, Van. And of course, if you'd like to keep up with more exciting news from the world of tech, check out our website, expressoshow.com.
Well, the world of technology is fast-moving and definitely very, very exciting. Well, today on the show, we're taking a look at a global initiative that sees 2 Cape Town schools take part in a joint science experiment with NASA astronauts in space.
The ExoLab project is a live science experiment that uses the power of technology to connect learners in the classroom here in Cape Town to real researchers and scientists and astronauts on the International Space Station. iInnovate is a South African-based company, and we work with leaders around the world, and we're constantly finding new ways to inspire and prepare students today for the future that they're walking into and to be problem solvers and innovators. So through our partnerships with Magnitude.io and the Center for the Advancement of Science and Space, this program's been developed with a curriculum to connect learners to the ISS that allows students and teachers to have access to real research projects on the International Space Station at an affordable rate, where typically sending an experiment up there would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. So the way that the actual experiment works is that students receive this growth chamber in their classrooms, and they plant seeds into this growth chamber that is designed to capture data about the environment around the classroom. So this is programmed technology that captures the temperature, the humidity, the carbon dioxide, and the light level. It also has a little camera inside that takes pictures 24 hours a day, so the students can really see the growth of their plant in this chamber.
This project is done in only 2 schools in the whole of Africa, and we feel extremely privileged to be part of this.
At the same time as these students are planting this experiment in their classroom, an identical exolab is being planted, and that exolab is launched on a SpaceX rocket through NASA, and it's installed on the International Space Station by astronauts who are up there.
The way we communicate, we log onto the platform, and then we are able to access data from the ISS as well as around the world. We have access to all the data that we can compare our experiment to.
And from that they can make observations and conclusions about what is helping make the plant flourish or what might make the plant fail, and how would we use that information to solve some of these greater global challenges, which makes it really exciting.
Taking part in this experiment makes me feel very happy and privileged and grateful because not a lot of schools can get this opportunity.
I feel very excited being part of this experiment because this is my first time being part of a global experiment, and I'm excited to see where this is headed.
It makes me feel excited knowing that we're part of only 2 schools doing it in Africa, and we're getting to experience what happens to the plant in space, even though we're not there in life, we're just experimenting.
So one of the really exciting things about the ExoLab platform and experiment is that not only are students connecting directly to real scientists and researchers, but they're also connecting to other students around the world who are conducting the same experiment in their classrooms. So students in Cape Town will be able to see an experiment that's happening in New York City or in Italy, and teachers equally are able to engage with some of the teachers from around the world to learn a little bit about how they're going about this experiment, to learn about how they have approached this problem solving or these challenges, and to really collaborate and build a collective knowledge around working on science experiments in the classroom. So we're really excited about the fact that everybody's working together and that students are connecting with others around the globe and not just outside of the Earth.
Well, some exciting things on your Feel Good Breakfast show. We're back for round 2 with our fitness this morning. Lee Thompson back with us. Earlier you showed us a body weight workout.
Yes.
What are you going to show us now?
So we're going to continue with body weight exercises, no equipment needed.
Okay.
So we're going to start off with some Supermans. Okay. So moving to our hands and our knees. So we're going to extend our arm out and the opposing leg and hold that there for 3, 2, 1. Good job. And alternating to the other side now. 3, 2, 1. And we'll do a few more reps like this. The great thing with this exercise is it's a functional training exercise, meaning that it works muscles simultaneously in the upper and lower body.
Okay.
So it's extremely efficient and effective, and you can do this at home.
Okay, I have to say I really like this one because I struggle with my balance, so you really have to keep your core activated.
Exactly. Activate that core, then you can't fall over. Let's go for one more rep. 3, 2, 1. Good job, Zoe.
There we go.
Okay, so while we're down here, we're going to move into planking or bridge holds. So resting on your forearms and on your toes, we're going to go up and lock that core, head up, back nice and straight, and we're going to go for 30 seconds.
Okay.
So I'm going to time you. Let's see it.
Ooh,
okay,
30
go.
seconds. Okay.
Great form, good straight back, head up, takes the pressure off the lower back, legs nice and straight, really good. You want that tabletop back. That's great form. Where do you feel it working?
I'm feeling it in my abdomen and my lower back, and definitely my arms.
Great. Another great functional training exercise, working muscles simultaneously in the upper and lower body. And relax. Good job, Ray. Well done.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Back up on our feet. Okay, next we're going to move into some boxing, okay? So take your strong foot forward, fist up below your chin, and we're going to go for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 combo. Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 squat. Good.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4 squat. So this is a really fun exercise as well. Get out of your frustrations and squat.
Okay, I really like this one.
1, 2, 3, 4 squat. Nice. So you want to get nice and low with that squat to make sure that we're working the glutes and the quads at the same time.
Okay, well, Lee, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Where can people catch you on the socials?
So Lee Thompson 52. you can find me there.
You can find him there,
Yeah.
indeed. Well, thank you for joining us this morning, and I hope you enjoyed that bodyweight workout as much as I did.
Okay, so you've done the workout.
Yeah.
It burns, and now you want to reward yourself because you deserve it. You've earned it. You feel the need to treat yourself after a workout, then start the week off with this delicious milkshake that we'll be combining clover vanilla milk with some ice cream and biscuits to create a cookies and cream milkshake.
To be quite honest, the vanilla-flavoured milk on its own is awesome.
It's not just milk, it's milk.
Milk, okay, we absolutely love it. This is really simple. It's cookies and it's cream and it's all kinds of deliciousness. So we've got vanilla ice cream, obviously the star of the show here.
There you go, get as much of it as possible. No, bro, are you gonna not...
It's not gonna fit in there. I'm gonna have to do it in clumps. There we go, boom.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
Boom, and boom.
And thanks a lot.
I mean, you can play around with this. This is the basic flavour palette that we're going after here.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Then, of course, the Oreo biscuit. I'm not even going to crush them because
don't worry,
I'm crazy like that.
The NutriBullet will take care of all
and then we're going to do a little bit of our milk. I'm actually going to use it all.
Yeah, do it.
Just do it. Whoa.
Hit the max line. Okay, cool.
Crazy,
we are ready.
man.
We are ready
crazy.
to blast. And as simple as that, you can have a delicious cookies and cream milkshake to start off your morning, especially after that strenuous workout. SMS the keyword drink to 33728. How about that?
There it goes. Look at that. Look at that amazing colour.
This is the greatest show.
Beautiful.
All right, you go ahead. I'm going to take care of decorating.
Okay, so you're going to dress these. I love those little mini biscuits, man.
Get inside.
Very, very cute. Okay.
Right.
So let's do
you
this.
Decant,
try
and I will
make it as even as possible.
Whip up the whipped cream.
And leave a little bit of room to play with there.
There we go. Thank you very much, sir. That looks good. I like the chunky bits.
Yeah, man. That's the thing. You want a bit of texture in there as well.
Oh, your pouring skills leave much to be desired. There. On the other side. Keep going. Oh, finish with the lot. There we go. Lovely.
Boink.
Okay.
Perfect.
Then what I will do is just get in there with that. Look at that.
Beautiful.
That's
It's
what
a
I'm
work
talking
of
about.
art.
There we go.
You can have a lot of fun with these.
Boom. And then, how cute are these? Mini Oreos.
We put them in the oven for 5 days and they just shrunk. No, I'm lying. We actually managed to find them. Just so sweet.
They're
and
so
cute.
dainty. Okay,
and now the key thing is
you take care of one?
You got to eat some and then let some kind of sink into the milkshake itself. There we go. Look at that.
SMS drink to 33728. There you go.
Man.
Morning done. Just marvel at that for a bit.
Look at our creations.
I'm so proud.
Wow,
I'm so proud. All right, let's have a sip, man. It's time already. Cheers. Here's to
ruin
your
the
health.
craving. Cheers,
to
man.
your Monday.
Here's to your workout this morning.
Get inside.
Clover Fresh Milk is the #1 milk brand in SA, made with love by Clover.
Well, still to come after the break, it's all about menopause and hormone therapy, as well as nutrition for those who are in the phase of menopause. All that and more coming up on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. It's a Monday, but it doesn't feel like a Monday today.
Certainly
it's actually
not.
been a great start to the week. Hopefully you're enjoying it with us.
Yeah, right now it's time for us to join Leanne with Dr. Sheena Jones as they chat about a very important issue, menopause.
If you are over the age of 50, get hot flushes, chills and mood changes, you might be on the bumpy road to menopause. Dr. Sheena Jones joins us this morning to chat about menopause and hormone therapy. Dr. Sheena Jones, so good to have you on the show this morning.
Lovely to be here.
I think every single woman that I know in my life right now has either gone through it or is busy going through it that is over the age of 50. What is menopause and when do you know that you are officially in menopause?
Okay, so that's a good question. Menopause is the absence of 12 periods. So in fact, we only diagnose it once you've gone a whole year without periods. Yeah. Generally, people are seeking medical advice in the madness that leads up to it. So the transition into menopause, early transition, late transition, things like hot flushes, mood swings. And that's often when they're looking for medical help.
Yeah. What can be done about it? Because you mentioned those symptoms.
Okay, so the symptoms are mammoth. Hot flushes, night sweats, about 70% of women get that. Over and above that, mood changes. That's a very big thing. Anxiety, depression, tearfulness, even aggression.
Oh, wow.
Loss of short-term memory, says she, thinking hard. Energy, loss of libido. Hair, skin, nail changes, muscle aches and pains.
So much.
And all of those are often helped with hormone therapy. Okay. So you ask what we can do about it, hormone therapy. And I'm a proponent of hormone therapy, as is every gynecologist I know. It gets bad press. 2004 started the ball rolling that hormone therapy causes breast cancer, and it doesn't.
Okay.
It increases the risk very slightly, but significantly improves lifestyle. So all of those symptoms of menopause will be better within weeks or months of starting hormone therapy.
Should everyone be using hormone therapy, or who shouldn't and who should be using it?
So there are only a few small risks with hormone therapy, and we would call breast cancer a small risk because as long as a woman's having a regular mammogram, we would pick up that early breast cancer. It's the type of breast cancer that actually is slow growing, and it's not as lethal, if you like, as the other types of breast cancer. Deep vein thrombosis, blood clots, which is actually also common in pill users, is less common but increased in people who use hormone therapy, but not a huge risk. So those are the people who, with a strong family history, perhaps would avoid hormone therapy, but with a normal family history, like a mother in her 70s having breast cancer, that doesn't mean she shouldn't use hormone therapy.
So you said it used to get a bad rap. It's not a bad thing, but what are the benefits of using hormone therapy?
Well, we reckon probably 3 to 5 years of increased life.
Wow.
It's probably 30% less colon cancer, which is one of our common cancers, 30% less Alzheimer's if you've used hormone therapy. It has huge benefit for bone density, and with our sedentary lifestyles, we have weak bones. So 70% fewer hip fractures, spinal fractures. And then the other one, heart attacks. Commonest cause of death in women, heart attack. And we think probably about half as likely if you've used hormone therapy. So we're keeping women alive longer and they're happier.
I love that. As long as we're here longer, happier, that's the most
important. And it
important.
doesn't cause weight gain.
I'm here for that. I am here for that. Dr. Sheena, thank you so much for being here and taking us through the sometimes arduous road of menopause and hormone therapy as well. But stay tuned. A little bit later, we have Lauren Moore in studio, and she's going to be chatting to us about how the right nutrition can help alleviate the symptoms of menopause.
South Africa's original oat champion now has a range of nutritious, delicious muesli. New Jungle Muesli, available in an exciting variety of flavors.
Well, thanks very much to Dr. Sheena Jones for her insightful interview. Thank you to you too, Leanne. Yes, and we still have more live performances coming from Zahara a little bit later on. Right now, though, time for us to reflect on the early morning headlines.
In the national news this morning, President Cyril Ramaphosa says it will become clear through different initiatives that there is no single solution to the land question. He was speaking at the ANC's first land summit in Boksburg on Saturday. A study has released, or rather that's been released, suggests that almost all the children in South Africa are either beaten by their parents, sexually abused by acquaintances, or bullied on the playground before they turn 18. 99% have witnessed violence or been a victim of it. On the international front, the Mexican charter company, owners of the plane which crashed in Cuba on Friday, killing 110 people on board, amongst them 10 priests and their wives, have received prior safety complaints. The crash was Cuba's deadliest air disaster in more than 30 years. And then finally, Zakuma National Park in Chad hasn't suffered a confirmed poaching incident since January 2016, thanks to heightened security at the park and the increasing support of surrounding communities. Well, that was your 7:30 news update. I'll have a full bulletin for you at the top of the hour.
Bringing you a quick sporting snapshot in football. Free State Stars beat Maritzburg United by a goal to nil on Saturday to lift the Nedbank Cup trophy here in Cape Town. Staying with football, Chelsea won their 8th FA Cup title on Saturday, beating Manchester United by a goal to nil at Wembley Stadium. Then in rugby, week 14 of Super Rugby wrapped up this weekend as the Lions beat the Brumbies by 42 points to 24, while the Sharks, they downed the Chiefs 28-24. And finally in cricket, unstoppable, our Proteas women's cricket team wrapped up a 3-0 T20 series victory over Bangladesh yesterday, thanks to a 23-run win in that final match in Bloem. More on all of those stories on the top of the hour.
Well, let's take another look at those roads, starting off in Gauteng and Sandton. There's been an accident on the M1 southbound. It's before Marlborough Drive exit. Traffic is queuing from the Buccleuch interchange. Then in the Western Cape and Lansdowne, there's slow-moving traffic on the M5 northbound. It's between Racecourse Road and the N2 highway. That's where we leave your roads for now. Next, your weather.
Look around. Life is beautiful. The Hyundai Tucson.
KZN can expect warm temperatures today, while in the Western Cape it is cold and wet conditions expected. But looking at those temperatures, we start off in Polokwane. A low of 9 with a high of 23 is expected. Mbombela 14 with a high of 28. Pretoria 10, 22, Johannesburg 8, reaching a high of 20. Partly cloudy conditions in Mahikeng, 9's your minimum, 24 your maximum. Klerksdorp 8, 23, Kimberley 4 with a high of 21. Bloemfontein 2, 19, Richards Bay 16, 29, Pietermaritzburg 11 with a high of 26. Partly cloudy in Durban, 18's your minimum, 27 your maximum. Mthatha 8, 26, East London 15 with a high of 25. Partly cloudy in Cradock 7 with a high of 21. Port Elizabeth 14 reaching a high of 25. Partly cloudy in George today, a low of 13, a high of 24. Sutherland 6 reaching a high of 12. Cape Town 14 with a high of 17. Rain in Worcester, a low of 12 with a high of 18. Springbok 6, 19, and Uppington a low of 6 with a high of 20 degrees Celsius. That's where we leave your weather for now. I'll have a final update for you in half an hour.
Alrighty then, checking out the latest international entertainment news. It's all about the royal wedding, and we'll tell you about that later on. Now, earlier on, we had a chat to Dr. Sheena Jones all about menopause, and right now we're joined by Lauren Moore, who's here to chat to Leanne and discuss more regarding menopause, give us advice and, of course, nutrition as well.
Ladies, listen up. Menopause is going to happen whether we like it or not. The good news, however, is that the symptoms are completely manageable by adding the right foods in your diet, like choosing jungle oats for breakfast. Now, it's made of 100% pure oats. It's high in dietary fiber. It's low in sodium. It promotes heart wellness, and it keeps you fuller for longer. Lauren Moore is here to give us more advice on how we can change our diets to reduce the symptoms of menopause. Lauren, so good to have you on the show this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So we've already gone through what menopause is, the symptoms of it, but I want to know, do your dietary preferences change when you have menopause or as you approach it?
I think the most frustrating thing about menopause is that everyone's experience is completely unique. So there's no black and white, there's no sort of predictability or sort of knowing exactly what's going to happen. So I think the main issue that a lot of women have is that they have increased appetite, and maybe their cravings change a little bit. So sometimes they are snacking a lot more often, sometimes they're eating more sweet foods, and that can often lead to excessive calorie intake, and that's when the weight gain sort of comes in.
So what can a balanced diet do to help alleviate the symptoms of menopause?
So basically you want to maintain a balance at the end of the day. You don't want to be dieting, you don't want to be having a very restrictive sort of way of eating. A lot of the time what works very well to help with symptoms is managing your blood glucose levels very well. Okay. So the reason for that is that blood glucose levels often have a direct impact on your mood, your fatigue, how energetic you're feeling, how well you're sleeping. And by managing your blood sugar levels well, by eating regularly and choosing the right types of foods, you can manage that a lot better and help with the symptoms in that way.
Let's talk for a second about the right types of food. What are those foods that we should be having and why?
I think with regards to menopause, you want to focus on 3 specific things. So bone health is a big one. Our bone health often deteriorates significantly when we're going through menopause, and that's often because of reduced levels of estrogen. You also want to focus on weight management and cardiovascular health. Okay. So going back to the bone health, yes, the estrogen levels play a significant role in the sort of reduced quality of bone health. But if you want to focus on it from a dietary perspective, there are things you can do. So you can increase your calcium intake. Some of the reason why our bone health deteriorates is because our calcium absorption deteriorates. So sources of calcium include obviously calcium fortified foods, dairy foods, and fish where you're eating the bones, so sardines, which aren't particularly popular with a lot of people, but very nutritious. With regards to vitamin D, sun exposure is very important. So a lot of the time we get low levels of vitamin D as we age because we're not spending as much time in the sun, and also reduced vitamin D absorption. So with vitamin D, you can focus on your egg intake and also your oily fish intake. So going back to weight management and cardiovascular health, luckily the dietary management of these is pretty similar. So ideally what you're looking for is, again, nice balanced diet, monitoring your blood sugar control and balancing this out. You want to choose high fiber carbs, so carbohydrates that are unrefined, oats, legumes, sweet potato with the skin, but in the appropriate portions. That's very, very important. So portion control is so important. You also want to choose healthy fats, monounsaturated fats, oily fish, lean proteins, lots of vegetables, and you want to limit your intake of saturated and trans fat.
Well, thank you so much, Lauren. And there you have it. It's great to know that menopause doesn't have to be all gloom and doom. With the right nutrition, plenty of exercise, and healthy lifestyle adjustments, you will be just fine.
South Africa's original oat champion now has a range of nutritious, delicious muesli. New Jungle Muesli, available in an exciting variety of flavors.
So we're going to take the quickest of breaks. Don't stray too far. When we return, we're going to separate fact from fiction when it comes to fashion. You want to stay tuned for that. Then Kat and I are going to test our knowledge, go head-to-head in a little book trivia competition. And of course, you have the opportunity, if you are the biggest book fan in the world, to be joining the Springboks for an entire year, courtesy of MTN. Hopefully, we can help you get there. We'll see you in a sec.
Join the party on Top Billing this Saturday evening as we're styling with Afro-punk designer Sibusiso Mahone. Film and TV stars Stefan Ludick and Anel Bester say I do. We discover ancient Khoisan fish traps and the Fynbos gin distillery in Stilbaai. And the best of the good life is a home designed around family. That's Saturday at 6 on SABC3. The stage is yours.
Voices like an angel calling. Oh, I don't play here. Sweet like a Sunday morning. You said follow me. I'll show you wonders you could never believe. I'll show you wonders you could never believe. Inamvu
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast show. Oh, that sound check from Zahara is absolutely amazing. Of course, she will be having another performance coming your way shortly. But first, let's find out what our international stars got up to over the weekend.
Absolutely, of course. There's no denying that the biggest international entertainment news from this past weekend was the royal wedding and all its glory. Now, here are some few honourable mentions in case you missed out on them. Now, while the wedding guest list was filled with the presence of royal dignitaries and family members, celebrities stole the spotlight, stepping out in their finest attire. Oprah and Amal Clooney stole the show looking like royalty, with Idris Elba, James Blunt and David and Victoria Beckham also in attendance. The red carpet also saw her cast members from the popular TV show Suits strut their stuff, looking ever so beautiful. Oh, they were there. Yes, yes, there we go. Look at that. Yes. Just suits all over.
That's really cool.
They got a shot of Louis Litt. In the audience there in the chapel when he wasn't looking ever so interested in the wedding. Anyway, after all the family drama that Meghan had to endure, she was accompanied to St. George's Chapel by her mum, Doria, who looked stunning and ever so proud as she watched her daughter say, "I do." Now, Prince George and Princess Charlotte looked adorable in their wedding attire and fulfilled their duties, following closely behind their new auntie, while the newlywed couple did not share their first kiss on the balcony, the famous balcony. Their first embrace as husband and wife outside St. George's Chapel melted the hearts of thousands in the crowd, and of course the millions watching at home. And we'll touch on the dress a little bit later on with Nick Strelis, our fashion editor, if you will. And I hope he's not going to have anything bad to say.
She looked stunning. I mean, I think what we also need to remember, I mean, it's royal news. It was good news. It was happy news. So yeah. I think it was a nice breather from the usual. Yeah,
that hashtag probably still trending right now. And we were going to touch on another story here involving Selena Gomez and Justin Theroux, who is Jennifer Aniston's ex. And now apparently they're together. There's a source that is spreading rumours and saying that these two are now together, lighting things up. So people are saying Selena is replacing a Justin with another Justin.
No.
He's now replacing a Jennifer with a Selena. And Selena and Jennifer used to be friends like in 2009 when they met. So it's like all kinds of rumors in Hollywood. The big thing, though, that people are asking is because of the age gap between them. Is it a bit
what is
kind of
the
creepy?
Age gap?
20 years or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Is it? I don't know. Would you date somebody who's 20 years younger or older than you? Is that a thing? You know? You let us know. Anyway, that's the latest international entertainment news.
We have the one, the only Mr. Fashion Editor himself, Nick Strelis in the house, everybody. I'm not going to ask people to clap because we know that has not worked well for you, but it is a Monday. I'm glad to see you, Boo Boo Kitty. I missed you.
Sweetheart.
You're not taking my hand. That's so embarrassing.
I didn't take a cue.
It's time for us to chat fashion hacks, separating fact from fiction when it comes to the world's best kept style secrets.
Let's do it, girl. But first, as if you thought I was going to show up on this Expresso Monday morning and not talk about the royal wedding.
Oh, I'm obsessed. I'm still so
Clap
obsessed.
It, girl. Oh, man.
Bring it here.
Okay, obviously the royal wedding happened. If you weren't sleeping under a rock, you probably...
You've missed it.
you have absolutely missed it. Now, I'm doing a full roundup on tomorrow's show.
I will be here.
You will be here. You better be here because you're doing the segments. If you're not here, it's just me talking to myself. But, like, how could we not talk about Meghan Markle right now? And listen, I'm a big man. I can say when I was wrong, and I was very wrong about the designer choice.
Well, you're wrong. I know
I was wrong, but I'm an adult, and I can admit when I was wrong and I'm wrong. Okay, I'm mature.
What did you say it was going to be?
I said Erdem, but listen, the entire international community said Alexander McQueen, Erdem, or Ralph and Russo.
Yeah.
She was in Givenchy, which actually makes a lot of sense in hindsight. Claire Waite-Keller is the new creative director for Givenchy. She's the first woman to helm this famed French fashion house. Yeah. She's also a working mother. We know Meghan's an ardent feminist. She's a huge proponent of women's rights. So the actually two do coincide.
What did you think of the dress,
No.
No.
We're
not doing that
I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to tell you tomorrow. What I will say, though, is people were very divided. Some people who loved it for its simplicity, for the fact that it didn't drown out the woman underneath. Yeah. We saw, say, Princess Diana's dress. The dress took over the moment.
Hunty.
It eclipsed the woman herself. Yeah. So for this one, all eyes were on Meghan. People who didn't like it, on the flip side as well, same reason, too minimal, too simplistic.
Yeah.
Wait and see, girl.
Wait and
see what I got to say.
Okay, we won't have to wait and see for your fashion hacks anymore because we're talking about separating fact from fiction. Let's get into it.
Okay.
Fact or fiction, stretching out new shoes is best done with a conventional shoe stretcher.
Do I know this? I hope I know this.
I would hope you do.
That is false.
Really?
That is a false. Okay, so a lot of people, we get these shoes that we love and we adore, but maybe they're a bit too small for us, say a half a size too small. Who has a shoe stretcher at home?
I don't have that.
Guys, anyone have a shoe? No one have a shoe stretcher. Here is the go-to for this. It's all about ice. It's all about water expanding into ice. So what you want to do is you want to fill up 2 plastic bags of water, and you want to fit them to the insides of the shoe, put them in the freezer. Overnight, what happens, the water will, first it'll contract and then it'll expand once it hits the point of freezing.
Wow.
Up to 9% it will expand, leaving your shoes a little more widthy in the morning.
That is amazing.
It's amazing.
Oh, well done, Nick. Okay, here's another one. Fact or fiction? Physically trying on jeans is the only way to be sure about one's denim size.
That is a false. That's a false. Listen, trying on denim is an exhaustive process. You know, you're taking off those heels, putting on those heels, putting on that
It's a workout.
It's a workout. I have a trick. It's called the waistband trick. Oh, there's a pair of jeans here. That's so weird. Who put that here? That was me. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to take the waistband and you want to fit it around your neck. Now, don't ask me how this works, but it does work. We've tried and tested it in the office as well. If it fits perfectly on the back, it means it's your size. If it's overlapping, it's too big, and if it's barely touching, it's too small.
I just need to stop you there. You're covering your mic. This is TV, by the way.
Oh, whoops. I forgot where I was. It's just not me at home by myself.
Okay, we're demonstrating with a picture.
So make sure it wraps completely around, but you want it just to touch comfortably. No overlapping, and it must obviously meet. It's your size.
Wow.
Done. I'm throwing this out of shop. I'm done with it.
Nick Strelitz, you're killing the game. How about this one? Fact or fiction? Clear nail polish can secure loose screws on sun or reading glasses.
That is a fact.
Is it a fact?
That is a fact. Ladies, men, for that matter, if you've got that clear nail varnish at home, it has more use than just on your nails.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is you first need to tighten it. So what you would use a screwdriver or a knife. I've used a kitchen knife just to tighten it.
Yeah.
What we want to do to keep the screws tight is to put a dollop of clear nail polish on top. It keeps it, it's a natural adhesive. It's like a natural glue. It's a bonder.
Wonderful.
Also good for nail polish, if you've got rips in your tights.
Yeah.
Throw a couple layers of that in, keeps it together.
I know we gotta wrap. I just have one more. Okay, the best way to avoid blisters caused by your favorite heels is a preventative Band-Aid protection. Fact or fiction?
That's fiction.
Oh.
What you want to do is, okay, we all wear heels. I wear heels, you know me.
All the time.
At the club, you see me in a heel. But what you want to do is, we obviously get blisters from the fabric, from new shoes. So what you want to use is deodorant. You want to apply, yes. Deodorant is a natural, number one, it's a natural lubricant, so it separates the bottom of your foot from the actual hard straining material. It's also a natural antiperspirant, so it stops your shoes and your feet, excuse me, from sweating as well. And you smell good.
Now you tell us, where have you been all our lives?
I've been here. You just didn't want me on the show.
Nick Strelitz, thank you so much. Well, tomorrow, Nick is joining us again, and this time we're doing a full fashion roundup, our hashtag Royal Wedding. We're talking about princes, princesses, duchesses, queens, and all that jazz, and Oprah. Yes.
Oprah was there.
I said Oprah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, as I call her.
Now, for the last week, Graham and Kat, they've been going crazy over what seems to be the best job in the whole world.
Yeah.
MTN are looking for a mega fan to travel with the Springboks for a year and get paid to do it. And these two are even they did their own auditions to prove their gees. And once and for all, we need to set the records straight. I'm going to find out who it really is the Bok's biggest fan in a round of Bok trivia. Well, gentlemen, the game is on. I have a few questions. It is trivia, so I've got an A, B, or C answer for you.
Yeah, all right.
I need to complete the question before you make your sound. The first sound I hear is the person that will answer. Are you ready?
Yes.
I am.
Okay, first question. Let's take it back. In 1995, the Springboks iconically won the Rugby World Cup, but who did they play against?
Viva!
A, the All Blacks, B, England, or C, Australia?
Viva!
Come on, come on.
I heard Graham first.
A, the All Blacks.
That is correct. They played the All Blacks, and can you give me the final score? Can you give me the final score?
Viva!
What?
15-12.
That's correct. That wasn't part of the question.
But no, wait, that is a bonus
Give him
point.
a bonus.
You can get a bonus point. Okay.
Look at Jonah Lomu.
Okay, next question. Well done, Kat. Second question. Who was the captain of the winning 1995 rugby team? Was it A, Joel Stransky, B, Francois Pienaar, or C, Chester Williams?
Viva!
Okay, I heard cat.
Yes, of course.
We need a
Francois Pienaar.
The answer is correct. It is B, Francois
Can I just
Pienaar.
ask for a television replay,
2-1.
please?
TMI.
Television
2-1 so
replay.
Okay. TMO, in fact.
look at
okay,
that
question
picture though,
number
man.
3. If you wear the number 1 jersey, what position do you play? Is it A, the fly half, B, the loose head prop, or C, the inside centre?
No!
I heard Graham first. What's the answer?
It is B, the loose head prop.
That is correct. If you wear the number 1 jersey, you are in fact the loose head prop.
You gotta be. It's a game of inches.
Now,
man. It's a
question
game
number
of
4.
inches. It's a game of
Which
inches.
Springbok has scored the most tries? Is it A, Brian Habana, B, Skalkberger, or C, Brayton Paulson? Cat.
Come on. Brian Habana.
Do you know how many?
I think he's... Wait. It's in the 80s.
You get the point. You pick the point.
I would put it in the 80s.
Tries.
Oh, okay. 67.
A total of 67
Okay,
tries.
it's close enough.
That was like if we were horses.
This is me.
Okay, James, I believe this is our final question, the tiebreaker. Because
What do you mean?
2
No,
points each.
It's 3. I the bonus point.
We deduct
It's
the
3.
bonus point.
Yeah, but it's 3-2.
This is the final tiebreaker. Last question, question 5. Which country will be hosting the 2090 Rugby World Cup? Is it A, Argentina, B, Japan, or C, England? Oh my God, I don't know. Independent auditor, was it Kat or Graham? Saying Kat.
Saying Kat. Okay, 2019 World Cup.
He's guessing.
It is. No. I still have right to answer the question. I'm going to go with, are we not going back to... No, England was last time. So it's going to Japan.
It is correct.
Rip the bark from my chest.
I think the only reason Kat won
because he's louder.
and his sound was just quicker. Well, there you have it. If
Okay, you can be the buzzer for a day. Just for a day.
That was
Now
so
listen, if you
intense.
think you are the box fan, then you stand a chance to travel with the team for a full year and, of course, get paid to do it. All you have to do is record an audition video to prove that you are the girl or guy for the job, and you upload your entry to mtncallup.mobi. That's all needs to happen before the 27th of May.
I'm just going to get up and walk out of the studio.
No, it's okay. Don't do it. It's okay. Stay with me. Stay with me. It's all right.
Welcome to the stadium. After greeting us in the morning, this is what your day will look like.
You'll see us try how we do things on the field. You'll see how to catch like me.
And how to pass like me.
How to lift like me.
You'll experience things like no one else.
You'll have locker room access and travel the world.
The team is ready to welcome you. All you have to do is apply.
Hey, that's getting a bit close.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Oh, I love the last part of that ad even more. Well, still to come on your Feel Good Breakfast show, Zahara's here and she performs for us after the break. And then Dr. Eve, our relationship expert, is here. And we're talking about, does your partner work too much and is it affecting your relationship?
Yeah.
I can hear voices like an angel calling. Is it sweet like a Sunday morning? You said follow me. I'll show you wonders. I'll show you wonders you could never believe. It's my feel-good breakfast
welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast show on this Monday morning. Zahara in our studio sharing music from her latest album called Ngodi, and right now performing a song called Inamvula, in which she featured the one, the only Kirk Whalum.
I can hear voices like an angel calling, sweet like a Sunday morning. You said, follow me, I'll show you wonder you could never believe. I'll show you wonders you could never believe. Ukufika ekhaya umnyango uvaliwe njengomntwana obusemnyameni ovumbukelwe bubumnyama noqabu wam bophukile wathi kum wandithembisa
As she walks out on that very emotional performance, Zahara with Inamvula, brand new music from her brand new album called Ngodi, featuring Grammy award-winning Kirk Whalum. If you don't know who that is, then think yourself back to Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You. That saxophone solo, that's who I'm talking about. I'm going to let you take a breather for now. In the meantime, let us know what you thought about that performance, and we'll have more from Zahara later on.
In the national news this morning, President Cyril Ramaphosa says it will become clear through different initiatives that there is no single solution to the land question. The president says when it comes to the issue of land, a range of interventions to address a diversity of needs across a wide range of circumstances is required. He was speaking at the ANC's first land summit in Boksburg on Saturday. Ramaphosa says different avenues need to be explored and that clear programs are needed to assist emerging agricultural enterprises. Almost all children in South Africa are either beaten by their parents, sexually abused by acquaintances, or bullied on the playground before they turn 18. 99% have witnessed violence or been a victim of it. These findings have just been released by the Birth to 20+ study conducted by the Department of Science and Technology and the National Research Foundation Center of Excellence in Human Development at Wits University. Professor Linda Richter, the center's director, says the project was done in Soweto on 3,273 babies since the early 1990s and holds true for South Africa at large. Now moving further abroad, the Mexican charter company, owners of the plane which crashed near Havana in Cuba on Friday, had received prior complaints or safety complaints by 2 ex-pilots. Now, amongst the 110 people on board killed were 10 priests and their wives. 3 women survived the crash, Cuba's deadliest air disaster in more than 30 years. Mexican authorities say they will carry out a safety audit of the company. Cuban authorities have also launched an investigation as rescuers continue to comb through the wreckage site. And then finally, Zakuma National Park in Chad hasn't suffered a confirmed poaching incident since January 2016, thanks to heightened security at the park and the increasing support of surrounding communities. In recent years, it's become a rare haven for Africa's imperiled elephants. The park's elephant herd numbers 500 and is one of the largest surviving in Central Africa. 6 black rhinos were recently flown to Zakuma from South Africa, reuniting the threatened animal with a land it hadn't roamed in nearly 5 decades. Well, that was your 8 o'clock news update. Here's a final look at what's happening in the world of sport with Graham.
Capping off a fantastic season, Free State Stars beat Maritzburg United by a 1-0 on Saturday to lift the Nedbank Cup trophy in Cape Town. The victory saw Stars claim their first competitive trophy since 1994 in a win that also secured their place in next season's CAF Confederations Cup. Well, of course, in the PSL relegation promotion playoff, things hotting up this weekend as Jomo Cosmos and Black Leopards played out to a 2-2 draw yesterday. Then staying with football, Chelsea won their 8th FA Cup title on Saturday. That as they beat Man United by a 0-0 at Wembley Stadium. The only goal of the game came in the 22nd minute as Eden Hazard converted a penalty after he was brought down in the box by ultimately a crazy challenge from Phil Jones. Up next, the football world turns their attention to the Champions League final as Liverpool take on Real Madrid in Kiev this coming Saturday. Then on to rugby. Week 14 of Super Rugby wrapped up this weekend, which saw wins for the Lions and the Sharks. At Ellis Park on Saturday, the Lions stormed to their 7th win of the season, getting their season back on track, scoring 6 tries on their way to a crushing 42-24 win over the Brumbies. Elsewhere, the Sharks beat out the Chiefs 28-24. The Bulls were thrashed surprisingly 54-24 by the Jaguares, while the Stormers, they went down narrowly to the Sunwolves by 26 points to 23. Then finally on to cricket. Unstoppable at the moment, our Proteas women's cricket team wrapped up a 3-0 T20 series victory over Bangladesh yesterday, thanks to a 23-run win in their final match in Bloem. With rain disrupting play, the match was reduced to 9 overs apiece. And up first, South Africa made 64 for 4 before restricting Bangladesh to just 41 for 6 in their innings. So the victory sees SA finish the tour without a single loss as they won the ODI series with that 5-0 whitewash series victory before taking the T20s with a 3-0 series victory. So well done, ladies, and that's a wrap of your sport for this Monday morning.
Well, let's take one final look at what to expect in your roads. They are in Gauteng, Kempton Park. There's been an accident on the R21 southbound. It's after the Atlas Road exit and traffic is backed up from the R25 Babsfontein Road. Then in the Western Cape in Steenberg on the M5 Prince George Drive southbound, roads have been closed at Military Road due to some protest action in the Vrygrond area. So allow for some extra travel time this morning. And that's where we leave your traffic on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
turning air into pristine, clean drinking water. Cirrus Water, the future of sustainable drinking water.
And in your weather today, it seems like warm temperatures are expected in KZN, while there's wet and cold conditions expected for Cape Town. Now in Polokwane, your minimum is 9, reaching a high of 28, Pretoria 10, reaching a high of 22, Johannesburg 8 with a high of 20, Mahikeng 9, reaching a high of 24. If you're in Klerksdorp, there's a low of 8, a high of 23, Kimberley 4, reaching a high of 21, Bloemfontein 2 with a high of 19, Richards Bay 16, reaching a high of 29, partly cloudy conditions in Pietermaritzburg with a low of 11, a high of 26. Durban 18, 27, Mthatha 8 with a high of 26, East London's 15 reaching a high of 25, Cradock 7, 21, Port Elizabeth 14, 25, George 13 reaching a high of 24. Cloudy conditions in Sutherland, a low of 6, a high of 12. Cape Town, rain is expected, a low of 14 with a high of 17. Worcester 12, 18, Springboks 6 with a high of 19, and Uppington, a low of 6 with a high of 20 degrees Celsius. And that's where we leave your weather on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Happy birthday, a very happy birthday to you.
Yeah, well, whatever the weather might be on this day, it could be your birthday, because every day millions of people around the world celebrate their birthdays. So all over the world, we want to celebrate with you. Of course, today, the 21st of May, let's take a moment to wish some celebrities out there a very happy birthday.
Yeah, first of all, happy birthday to our first British Olympic diver, Tom Daley, who celebrates his birthday today. Tom, if you're watching, happy birthday, guy. Just 14 years old he was when he first represented his country at the Beijing Olympics back in 2008 and reached the finals to boot, and he became the FINA world champion at the age of 15. That's why he still looks so young. But he is, he's a champ, and he is revered in the UK.
Hashtag Monday motivation. And also celebrating his birthday today, South African filmmaker and comedian Leon the Shuckster Schuster. He's the man, of course, behind some of the funniest films in South Africa, including Panic Mechanic, Will Be My Favorite Ever, Mr. Bones, and of course the classic Oh Shucks series.
I'm just waiting for him to come at the set.
Dude,
do something.
Panic Mechanic is still hilarious.
And some of the most iconic skits, though, I think it kind of set the bar for that kind of humor. Absolutely love it.
That whole thing.
So the big question is, first of all, happy birthday as well to everyone who has been celebrating, and a very happy birthday to one of our viewers, Nkanyiso. Biggie, is that it? Biggie.
Isn't it also, it would have been Biggie's birthday today as well. I think I heard this morning somewhere. It would have been Biggie's, well.
Way to bring it right down there, dude. Come on, man. Biggie, we love you. Look at that smile, man.
He's got that smile about him.
Yeah, man. Dude, we love you. Happy birthday. And if you too are celebrating your birthday, how would a very personalized rendition, a serenade from our very own Katlego Mabue sound? Well, he could be singing to you on your very birthday. You've got to go to the Expresso Morning Show Facebook page. Let us know, first of all, when your birthday is, if you want someone else to celebrate it, and what song you would like Kat to perform, and please include a photo.
I'm actually looking forward to
Are you going to judge
No, I'm not going to judge photos. I'm just looking forward to singing somebody's favorite song and making their day. That's going to be cool.
Oh, and there's so many songs I'd love for you to sing to me, man. I love
I'll be the man.
I'm still not over it, Drew. Too soon, dude.
Well,
Too
still
soon.
to come after the break. We're heading to the kitchen where we're making a delicious chocolate microwave cake. Perfect for something that's quick and easy. And then Dr. Eve is in the house. This morning we're talking about, does your partner work too much, and is it affecting your relationship?
Join us for a Motivational Monday on Afternoon Express, live at 4:30 on SABC3. Today we're honored to sit down with prolific author Sisonke Msimang, who recently published her memoir called Always Another Country. Plus, international TV personality and a host of Worldwide Nathan Fluellen, shares his journey with us. And for our Mommy Monday special, we chat to Superwoman Joanne Strauss. That's Afternoon Express, weekdays at 4:30 on SABC3. The stage is yours.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Thank you very much for joining us on your Feel Good Breakfast show on this Monday morning. It's that time once again when we discuss relationships. Now, whether you love your job or you hate it, we all experience a moment or two where we wish we could just take the day off, spend a little time in bed cuddling no muntu wako. But responsibilities always strike, however. And all the more so for some of the people out there who have high-pressure jobs. And of course, that taking of any time for yourself is out of the question, let alone giving yourself and your loved one that attention that they deserve. And it feels near impossible to do sometimes.
Exactly. So the question we're asking, does your partner work so much that even if they're working from home, it still feels like you never see them? Is your partner's constant working causing a rift in your relationship? Well, our relationship expert is here, Dr. Eve, and she's in the building to break it all down. It's a really hot topic, and I know a lot of people are struggling with it. So if you have any questions or comments, our lines are officially open. Give us a call, 021-430-9881. We are here for you. We want to engage.
And so is Dr. Eve. Thank you for joining us as always, Dr. Eve. So let's start it at the very beginning in understanding what exactly happens to a person's body and their psyche when they are being overworked. Sometimes they don't even realize that they are overworking themselves or being overworked. But what happens to them?
So I'm looking at all three of us, and I think that we're pretty guilty of
True. Except I have no partner who can struggle with that.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let's break it down and say what happens to our body.
Yes.
I think we also have to define what's overwork at. So overwork could be more than like 48 hours a week. And your body is unable to really tolerate that amount of stress. So the first thing that happens, you go into something called sleep debt. Have you heard of sleep debt?
Yes.
Where you sleep deprived.
You can't pay it back.
You can't pay it back.
The sleep.
But it's really serious because biologically what happens to your body is that it puts you at a higher risk for obesity and for heart disease and for strokes. Also, you're not going to get into a good exercise and nutritional routine. And that has severe consequences because you also need then to increase your energy levels. What do we turn to? Caffeine and alcohol. So there was a study done that said if anybody works more than 48 hours a week, they're at a higher risk of overuse of alcohol. And what overuse of alcohol means for women, that would be more than 14 glasses of alcohol in a week. And for men, it would be 21 glasses of alcohol in a week. That would be considered to be a higher intake of alcohol than necessary. And this is with people who do so-called overwork. So it has profound impact short-term and long-term on your body. The other thing that's really interesting is that studies have been done by Harvard Business School, and they show that people who overwork are not more productive. They think that they're being more productive, but they're actually not, because there's memory loss that happens. And there's lack of concentration. So you're kind of on the cycle where you really think that you're outputting a lot more, but you're not really producing that much more.
Well, when we come back, I want to ask about the types of strain that kind of overwork can put on a relationship, not only for you as the person who's overworking, but not like you were talking about the sleep debt. So we're going to talk about that in a second. And we want to know from you, does your partner work so much that even when they are at home, it still feels like they're not really there? Give us a call, 021-430-9881 is the number to dial.
All right, so over the last couple of weeks, well, I know we always celebrate the art of baking on the show, but we've had a very intense focus over the last few weeks. Why? Because Lance Wood, in particular, my favourite, the full-fat cream cheese, but Lance Wood, as a brilliant baking aid brand, are going to be sending one of you and a partner to the Big Apple in a prize worth $150. So we thought we'd inspire you today.
Yeah, who knows? You might want to take the recipe we're going to show you today and take it that one step further and enter the Lance Wood Cake Off. So today we're going to show you how to make a delicious chocolate cake microwave recipe.
That's the kicker. It's a microwavable cake. I mean, come on,
That's
Zoe,
right.
this was designed for you.
I know, for the easy baker. So
Come on, okay.
I'm going to start off with our topping because we've got a tin of caramel and we're going to use the Lance Wood full fat plain cream cheese. And we're just going to mix the two together, and that's going to be our topping for the end.
And you want to start with this, why? Because we want them to be nicely mixed, and you need that cream cheese at room temperature to get it going. Now, another thing I love about this recipe is it is simple in terms of our ratios and portions. So we're going to start with the dry ingredients first. We've got a cup of our flour, a cup of normal sugar, some cocoa powder there. And obviously you can go with a different flavor, but come on, chocolate cake is
chocolate cake is the best.
And then quite a lot of baking powder. Why? Because we really need that raising agent to kick in quickly. We're only going to be doing this for 10 minutes in the oven, so I'm going to mix these dry ingredients very, very quickly. How's that?
Okay, I'm busy mixing. You're not allowed to laugh at me. This is just the beginning part, and this is manual labor.
See, now you begin to understand why you need to get this done early on, and also why you need things at room temperature.
Yes.
Okay, so I've mixed my dry ingredients there. Now I'm going to start with the wet. Again, super, super simple. We've got just 2 eggs that have been... I keep waiting for a Leon Schuster because it was his birthday. I'm just waiting for something to go wrong and for Leon Schuster to pop out and we start
Nothing's going to go wrong because that's how easy this recipe is.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's idiot-proof and they put the 2 idiots... You're not an idiot, but you know what I mean.
I am in the kitchen. I'll admit that first.
When it comes to the kitchen, we've got our oil and our vanilla essence. You love vanilla essence, eh?
Yes, I love it. Give it a good smell. There we go. Okay, so you're mixing all the wet ingredients together.
I really am. I'm going to whisk them up with my little mini whisk very, very, very quickly. I try not to get any on your iPad. How's that? Oh, that's looking good.
It's getting there. It's still full of lumps. Of course, you need to put some elbow grease in it and really just get it nice and smooth.
Got to employ the right techniques. Cool. There we go. I mean, you could probably give these a bit more of a mix, but we, of course, are pressed for time. So now wet ingredients go in with the dry. And the keyword here is cake to 33728 if you'd like us to send this very simple ingredients list right to you. You can, now it becomes an official mix-off. You can do it, Zoe. Come on, girl.
I'm playing between the different tools. Our keyword for you is cake. SMS that to 33728 if you would love to have this delicious chocolate cake recipe, microwave cake sent to your phone.
So now the fun part is you can really choose what kind of instrument or kind of baking holder you want it to go into to dictate the shape. So you can go in something round, you can go in something square, just use a little bit of grease or maybe some spray and cook. Then you pop it in the microwave, 10 minutes on high, and dun, dun, dun. I've been trying to pad as long as I can to get some kind of
okay, so it is lumpy. Of course, you need to make your topping extra smooth. Do you want to give it a good...
We've kept it lumpy because we love our Lancewood cream cheese so much. No, that looks great, man.
Okay,
looks
cool. And then, of course, you'll finish off your microwave cake. And you just spread it
with a good plastering of our delicious icing that really is awesome, simple, and it will be delicious. I love the fact, and this we made in the microwave a little bit earlier. It really is as easy as that. So hopefully this is giving you a nice jumping off point to go and start baking for yourself. If you want to take part in the Lancewood bake-off, or cake-off rather, and obviously have the opportunity to win an incredible prize, you've got to go to lancewoodcakeoff.co.za, follow the simple instructions, and you could be winning big. But you've got to make sure that when you post those pictures, you have a, first of all, insanely good recipe, and second of all, that you feature the Lancewood products that you used in your creation. Zoe, that is amazing. I think it's going to taste amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, SMS the keyword cake to 33728. Are you proud of that?
Yes, but everyone's laughing at me, so I don't know what I did wrong.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you, Zoe. With you.
Win a trip to New York City worth 150,000 Rand. South Africa's #1 cream cheese, Lancewood, is on the hunt for the nation's #1 cake. To bake it all the way to the Big Apple, upload a picture of your cake with the Lancewood product used to lancewoodcakeoff.co.za. 3 finalists will make it through to our live cake-off on Expresso show. 1 will impress celebrity judges Zola Nene, Jay Something and Lorna Maseko and make it all the way to New York. We're chatting with our relationship expert, Dr. Eve, in the house. We're talking about partners that work way too much. If you have a partner and, you know, it's maybe affecting your relationship, 021-430-9881 is the number to call. This is a safe space for us to discuss these things. And the question that I asked Dr. Eve before we went to the break was, what kind of pressure or strain does that kind of scenario put on a relationship, especially when a partner is working too much or they're overworked?
They're overworked and they're just not available.
Yes.
I think I want to start with, you know, what motivates somebody to overwork, and then we'll look at the
start. Yes. Why? That's a very good point to start at, because it offers some understanding to the person who kind of being left out in the cold, in the dark.
That's true.
Why is it that this person overworks or is being overworked in the first place?
Yeah, and I think that's important because our focus today is on you, the partner, and looking at your response to somebody who is overworking. So it may be because they really are ambitious, which is really lovely, but it may be that there's a conflation around that ambition. And then you'll always get the defense around, I'm doing it for your sake. he or she will say to the partner, I'm doing it for your sake so that we have money to send our children to private schools, or so that we can travel, or we can do nice things. So there's a justification that comes around that. And then there's the real thing around, well, you know, we have to make money. And that's kind of real, but to a point, because then you have to get into what are my expectations and what are the things that I value. So we're really looking at somebody who is ambitious and who is talking about self-promotion. Why are you smiling like that?
I don't know if, and I'm not even catching feelings. I'm just, the one you call a justification and the other one you call the reason. So where do you draw the line? If somebody's saying, I'm working so hard because I want to send my children to a private school, to the best universities, afford them the best opportunities, versus I'm working just so that I can provide the bare minimum. Where does it become a justification? Where is it an acceptable reason?
When it becomes that you are so overworked that you don't have time for a partner, and we'll talk about, you know, the impact that it has on a partner, then you begin to justify, because you get into a lifestyle which is exclusionary of a partner, not having space and not really be able to provide time for your partner, which is what a partner really wants, is to be able to have a relationship. So
I feel like I'm going to come back I'm going to come back with a little bit of a whammy, something that just hit me now. It's not a question, but okay, let's say someone really does enjoy what they do. They really love their job. They work really long hours because they enjoy it. Can that possibly offend their partner who maybe has a job that they don't really enjoy? And then if they make and then they make it seem as though, oh, you work too much, you're overworked, but it's really, I wish.
Because that's dangerous.
That's it. And also there could be a jealousy element around that, an envy around that.
I wanted to say jealousy, but I chose offended. We're going to come back after the break with us. 021-430-9881. We are getting heated right now. Is your partner working too much?
Welcome to the stadium. After greeting us in the morning, this is what your day will look like.
Let's go! You'll see us try how we do things on the field. You'll see how to catch like me.
And how to pass like me.
How to lift like me.
You'll experience things like no one else.
You'll have locker room access and travel the world. The team is ready to welcome you. All you have to do is apply.
Hey, that's getting a bit close.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast show on this Monday morning. Relationship Talks with Dr. Eve. And of course, our lines are open on 021-430-9881. Mariki from Pretoria is on the line. Good morning, Mariki. Go right ahead.
Yes.
Good day.
Hi, Mariki.
Hi. I just want to say that I think my marriage went down due to the partner that was overworking.
Oh, wow.
You know, my husband was always out working, and you raise 3 children on your own, and there are times that you need an adult conversation. When the children are busy with their own things, you tend to get lonely.
Wow.
And you need friends, and when you find them, they are busy with their own lives, you know, and you actually feel that you are interrupting their lives because you are feeling lonely.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. And sometimes you just need that person, you know, after a rough day. You need that person to say, you know what, it's going to be better tomorrow.
Yeah.
And in that time, that person is not there. That father is not there. You're raising 2 boys, you know, they get bullied at school. And, you know, what do you do?
That's a great question, Mariki. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Yes.
On the end, you had to, like, teach your boys to use their fists, you know, to fight their own battles, things like that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And it's quite hard on a mother, specifically if the father is absent, working.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, Mariki.
Wow.
So let's talk to the partner who perhaps is overworked and might look at the situation and go, but the reason why you want me there all the time is because you're needy. But Mariki's talking about a real emotional state of being lonely, and that is something to be
almost
respected.
being a single parent.
So talk to us about that.
Yeah, so maybe he's saying, I'm working to be able to take care of the children. It comes down to the person who's overworking their own priorities and their own value system. What do they value in first? And then going into a contract with somebody like Mariki, with your partner, to say, well, this is what I am devoted to, or this is what I'm passionate about, is my career and doing things that I really love. And Mariki, it's up to you to find something that you're passionate about. But then she says, well, you know, we have an agreement around having children and I want us to co-parent. And he'll say, well, I don't want to be co-parenting. She must then look for other ways to optimize her situation and to bring in support so that she isn't feeling resentful towards him. Because what Mariki's feeling is betrayed. And that's how many, many people feel, is betrayed, that my partner didn't let me know that they were going to be overworking and didn't let me know I was going to be single parenting, and I feel really very hurt and very betrayed. And that's where the relationship falls apart. There has to be honest. You look very thoughtful around this.
Yeah, because it's a concern, especially when she mentioned the fact that there was an absent father, and at the end she had to be the one that taught the boys lessons about being men in society and all those important lessons that you can't necessarily always place the pressure on a mom to do, even though there are many single moms out there that have done it for years and are still doing it, and we love them so much for that. But when the father has the opportunity to be there and isn't actively there, there's just something that I have a bit of a problem with, even though I understand.
It's incredibly uncomfortable. It's incredibly uncomfortable. And I also what I would have liked to ask her, was he really overworking, or was he spending time pursuing his own hobbies or spending time with friends? Was it really overwork?
See, then there's that other aspect of it. All right. We'll keep our lines open on 021 430 9881. Share your thoughts and your comments and questions with us. We're talking about partners who overwork and how that affects your relationship.
Well, we are back in the kitchen and we'll be making now a Be Well lamb shank and creamy mashed potato, and that's with Be Well canola oil, and it's also been recognized as the healthier option with only 7% saturated fat, and that's compared to sunflower's 12% and olive oil's 15%.
I love that. Carrie's the Cancer Smart Choice Seal, and the only oil to do that, and it's going to become the starting point of what is going to turn into the most delicious meal I think I have ever made on the show. We are making a lamb shank. So what we've done first is we've got our actual piece of lamb shank here. We've dusted it in flour. That's going to help to seal in the flavor. Yes, it's also going to help to thicken our eventual sauce. So I'm going to use some of our Be Well there. Let that get nice and hot. And at first, you want the pan to be hot. Why? Because we are sealing. You want that meat to literally caramelize on the outside so that we can seal in those beautiful flavors before we start cooking it nice and slowly. So I'm going to start with the fatty side down and just let that go. Let's check how OCD you are. Just got to make sure that's facing the right way.
Just so you know which one we're using.
Ideally here, you're trying to seal in the flavors if you can. There's a lot of natural fat in the lamb, which is going to reduce, and it's going to kind of melt into the meat as you go. But it's so important to get the flavors in there right from the very beginning before we start the slow cook part of the process.
And it is a very slow cook, but it's so worth it once it's done. I mean, my favorite lamb shanks are usually the ones where you just touch the knife to the bone and the meat just falls off.
Yeah, so you're looking at about a 2 to 3 hour cooking process here, whether you want to finish this off in the pan or you want to pop it into the oven. So obviously for television purposes, we're going to speed up the process, but that's already getting a lovely color to it as well. And you can see the fat starting to render immediately. Then we're going to start with our aromatics. I'm going to break a little bit of, we'll just crush a bit of that to bring out the flavors. Rosemary, lamb, match made in heaven. And we're going to pop in 2 cloves of garlic. Yay. Just smell that. Oh, it's amazing.
Aromas coming through.
And we're going to season a little bit some black pepper. And you want to keep it as simple as possible. Don't overdo it because the meat has got so much flavor as well. A little bit of salt. Get that into the mix there. I'm just going to brown this last little side here. Ooh. Oh, that's looking so good.
That looks amazing.
It really does look good.
Yeah.
Then, of course, we want a sauce to go with this. So what we've got here is a cup of red wine. As we always say, the red wine is going to release the alcohol as it cooks.
There we go.
Yummy! Looking good. And we've prepared a little bit of vegetable stock. You can go with any stock that takes your fancy, but you want those flavors to infuse. So I'm going to let the alcohol cook off for a little while, and then ideally we'll cover that up and leave it for 2 to 3 hours, or you can even pop it in the oven, 180 degrees, 2 to 3 hours we say. If you've got a bigger piece of meat, obviously slightly longer, but you want the meat to fall off the bone.
And our keyword for you this morning is BeWell to 33728. If you'd love to have the link to the recipe sent directly to your phone, that's BeWell to 33728. Now, I'm going to be making the creamy mashed potatoes. We've boiled 4 potatoes and it's already been slightly mashed, so I'm just going to smoothen it out a little bit more by mashing it.
Nice texture, yeah.
There we go. So it's nice and smooth. And what we want to add to it to give it that extra creamy flavor is the mayo and olive and canola BeWell mayonnaise. So I'm going to add a generous dollop.
And it is good that you can take the guilt, because I love mayo on just about everything, but it kind of takes, generally...
I'm going to add some Parmesan.
Kind of...
And some chives.
A heavy fat, to be able to add the omegas, add the healthy fats to your meal, major bonus.
There we go. So I'm just going to stir it together, give it a good mix.
Was that a little bit of Parmesan?
I added some Parmesan and, of course, some chives, but, of course, I'm going to add more chives. There we go. Get some colour in.
Yeah, I was going to say, apart from the flavour, it adds a pop of colour as well.
There we go. So, of course, you will serve that on a bed of mash, and, of course, the hero of our dish being the BeWell lamb shank right there.
Oh, and the keyword again is BeWell to 33728. You smashed that out the park, Zoe. Boom!
Look at that.
The in-depth conversations happening in between those moments as we talk about relationships. 021-430-9881 with Dr. Eve. We were trying to just, because this is our last chat with Dr. Eve, how do we work through it as the partner who feels your partner is overworking, as the partner that is overworking? How do you approach this in your relationship?
You want to communicate, because the worst thing for a partner is to build up that hurt. And what happens is that she becomes, or why am I saying she? I'm being
he or she.
I'm being very sexist, forgive me for that. The partner becomes very resentful. Starts out by being very patient and understanding, and this is cool, and admiring the person who overworks and understands the justifications. And then they build up resentment, and that resentment turns to anger, and that leads to more conflict between the two of them. And then what he or she does is he or she will begin to distance from the overworked person. The overworked person then starts using this person as what's called a career therapist. All they talk about is their work, and they just want to get advice from this person. So for those of you who do overwork, what I want to say is please don't feel guilty or shameful around it. Consider your own, excuse me, your own priorities. What are the things that you really prioritize in your life? And then share them with your partner. Let the person know that I therefore have choices to make around how I manage my own life with this person who I do admire, who is overworking. I do admire you because you overwork, by the way. And then you also want to say, let us create rituals which are going to give me the sense of I'm important in your life. The most important thing is to be consistent and reliable. If you're the overworked person, be consistent and reliable. Send those messages, send those emails, make those phone calls. Be present when you say you will be present. Don't avoid and let the person down. Don't arrive late all the time. Don't create unpredictability in this person's life. Make rituals where you are going to be present. Make promises and keep them. Make commitments and keep them. And then you can go on overworking as much as you want, as long as you're not letting this partner down.
Yeah. I just read something very interesting this morning saying morning kisses and cuddles, midday texts to let them know that you're there, and evening back rubs. Sometimes it's just that simple.
Exactly.
Wow. Hear, hear.
I like that.
But be consistent in all of those things. We're going to take a quick ad break. Thank you so much to Dr. Eve. We'll see her back next week, same time, same place, talking about a more amazing relationship chat.
Thanks, babe.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your feel-good breakfast show and bake the world a better place, and that's with Clover Milk Vanilla Blondies, and they guarantee to really give you that kind of feeling on this Monday morning. Plus, they're really fun to make, so why not try this really easy, no-fail recipe that's bright, buttery, and highly addictive? And you were asking me, what are blondies?
Yes, what are blondies?
They vanilla brownies.
Yeah,
blondies
okay.
and brownies.
Cool,
There we go.
cool.
So
that's why
what
our
we're
secret
making.
ingredient is vanilla-flavored Clover milk.
Okay, cool. So, Kat, I'm going to put you to work. We're going to mix our sugar,
Yes.
a little bit of oil and eggs together.
Along with the dry ingredients.
No. Keep everything there.
Oh, goodness.
Separate the dry ingredients.
Okay.
Let's leave that.
All
there
right,
we go.
I'll hold on to this.
So there we go. I'm going to throw in some oil.
Well, okay, so we got the oil that goes in there with the sugar.
Yes.
And it's joined
We
in
have
by
two
eggs.
And some vanilla essence.
Excellent.
My absolute favorite.
All right.
Cool. So
okay.
give that a good mix. And then, of course, we're also going to add half a cup of our Clover milk. There we go.
SMS the keyword Clover to 33728 to receive the ingredients list as well as the link to the recipe so that you can make your own blondies at home.
That's right. So once you've mixed your wet ingredients, you're going to add some sprinkles and white chocolate to the wet ingredients.
Is that a good consistency?
Yes, that looks good. It's nice and smooth. Okay, so I'm going to add these in.
Alrighty.
Oh, look at that. That's so fun. The colours coming through.
Absolutely. Okay. So
There
getting
we go.
the mix in there. Good,
And once you've done that,
yep.
you're going to add it to your flour.
Are we adding
and we've got
the
some
flour
baking
to
powder.
it or it to the flour?
It's to the flour.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so I'm going to make a little well. That's
Alrighty.
something I remember from school.
Yes. Baking flour. What was that class again?
Home economics. Yeah.
There
Well,
you
by
go.
the time I was in school, it changed to hospitality studies.
Fancy schools. Okay, there we go.
There we go. So we mix it together, and then we're going to put this in a tin, square tin, and we're going to bake it on 180 degrees for 20 minutes.
Yes.
And then, of course, that is the beauty of the brownies. The blondies is that it really is that quick and easy to make.
That'll help me.
You're going to do
Okay.
that.
I feel like I'm of more use because you know the recipe better than I do. So
There we go.
I'll just do the
Give
manual
it a
labor. So
good
you're gonna
mix.
get it together, get all the dry ingredients mixed up with the wet ingredients. And as I said earlier on, SMS the keyword Clover to 33728 and we'll send you a link to the recipe as well as the ingredients list so that you can make your own blondies. And what have you done to decorate there? You've
we
melted
just
some chocolate?
melted some brown chocolate and some white chocolate, and we just sprinkled it over with additional sprinkles. So there you have it.
Excellent
Some
stuff.
delicious blondies.
I just taste them there.
There we go. Happy? Our keyword is Clover to 33728 if you'd love to have this sent directly to your phone.
Yes. All right, let's show you how we made this quickly. I'm just into this mixing part of the process.
Okay.
A blondie is a rich, sweet dessert bar that is just plain delicious, and did I mention that they're fun to make? So why not try this easy, no-fail Clover milk vanilla blonde recipe that's bright, buttery and highly addictive. For this recipe, you'll need half a cup of Clover milk vanilla flavored milk, 2 eggs, 3/4 cups of brown sugar, a half a cup of oil, 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence, 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 cup of white chocolate chips, a half a cup of sprinkles, and a half a cup of melted milk chocolate. In a large bowl, blend the eggs, brown sugar, Clover milk, oil, and vanilla essence until combined. Next, mix together the flour and baking powder and add to the brown sugar mixture. Then fold in the white chocolate chips and sprinkles to the mixture. Bake at 180 degrees Celsius for 18 to 20 minutes. Once cooled, cut and drizzle over melted chocolate to enjoy with a tall glass of Clover milk. What better way to indulge in its delicious smoothness while your body reaps all the benefits of milk.
Made with love by Clover.
So SMS the keyword Clover to 33728 for a list of the ingredients as well as a link to the recipe. Just as we went into that recap, Nicole, who's our kitchen master manager, said, don't overmix. Yes. So while you're mixing your ingredients dry and wet, as soon as there's a combination of all wet and dry, stop mixing right there. Otherwise, you overmix, you overwork the gluten in the recipe, and that just does not make, it gives you soggy bottoms in your cakes, and that's not cool.
Soggy bottoms.
SMS Clover to 33728. Delicious blondies.
Clover Fresh Milk is the #1 milk brand in SA, made with love by Clover.
Oh man, I've got to say, Mondays are my favourites, and the reason, or maybe the many reasons, are the incredible everyday South African heroes we get to meet as our Mandela Monday heroes. Now, Ralph Bowers certainly fits the bill. He is the founder of Guardians of National Treasure. He is our latest Mandela Monday hero.
Sports in the communities on the Cape Flats can be a very powerful tool to empower the youth and bring change about in these communities. The Cape Flats has very troubled communities with the gang violence and the drug and substance abuses. So we can use sports to recruit those children and then keep them away from being recruited by the gang and drugs and all the drug cartels in the communities.
One of 8 children in his family, entertainer Ralph Bowers has returned from a career in Great Britain to offer our national treasure, our kids, some solid ground to build their lives on.
I've been in the UK for 13 years. I've gained a lot of experience in the UK. It's important that we give back to our communities, and a person's purpose in life will actually determine where you end up. And I think my purpose in life is to be able to come back to our community and uplift those communities and assist those youngsters to become successful, to be able to go abroad. Come on! And whether it's in sports or education, and to make sure that they have the right platform to be able to reach their dreams and goals.
Sports is very, very important for youngsters, especially football 3. It's a normal sport, but it's more like installing that discipline into the children from a very young age. The thing that I love about football 3 is you can implement it at home as well. So if you hurt someone at home or at school, you can basically then tell that person, listen here, I'm sorry for what I've done. I didn't do it intentionally, I'm sorry. So that is the positives that football 3 gives the children. So football 3 it's totally different from the normal football.
Last year, May, we started with about 12 youngsters playing soccer on Load Street in Lavender Hill. Today we have 9 teams and over 7 divisions on the local LFA and on South Peninsula. And that gives us the opportunity to then give them that healing component and to give them that guided border support that we want for our youth to make sure that when they're older, they are a bit better.
Under the auspices of Ralph, he is doing a good thing for the Lavender Hill area. He have now brought 100+ new members, new youth to this LFA, and he have promised that there's more kids that's sitting on the corners that he want to bring to this LFA.
Sports in this community is a healing component, and when we have the sports, we're able to take our kids and then give them the support by using sports and then tapping into the education system. We can tap into the arts and culture and even the body and soul where the faith-based situations is concerned. So we can use sports to be able to, as a diversion tool, to make sure that our kids has a more holistic lifestyle.
What I love about soccer is coming far in life and attending a good club and playing for maybe other countries and stuff.
Every Saturday you meet different kinds of clubs, different kinds of people, and Ralph has made a big difference in like the soccer and like everybody in the community helping where he can and doing his best.
Most of us live, we have a bad community, so if we can play soccer, like take most of the time of the days, but we don't need to go into areas to go into that bad community.
I love playing soccer because it's my passion. Practicing twice a week is a good thing because we come on the field and we show what we practiced, and beating teams make me feel better because I don't want to be in the losing side.
Lavender Hill has changed over the last year. The community is quite supportive and they're on board with the Guardians of the National Treasure. We are there to support and uplift the community, and over the time frame it's changed dramatically.
All right, brace yourself, it's How to Shine with Mac Outdoor Cleanup Time. So yes, winter is almost here, but there are always enough warm, sunny days to enjoy our outdoor living. Certainly here in South Africa, we love it. So when eating or playing outside, we need the reassurance that everything is hygienically clean for our families. So we got some great cleaning tips for you this morning.
Exactly. So our go-to products are the powerful MAC Trio, MAC Multi-Purpose Cream Cleaner, MAC Multi-Purpose Thick Bleach, and MAC Dishwashing Liquid. Here's the first tip. Patio floors need to be regularly cleaned, whether they are tiles, slate, or even wooden floors. A solution of MAC Cream Cleaner in a bucket of warm water will do the trick. Now, simply mop the surface, add a few drops of MAC Thick Bleach to clear water, and wipe to disinfect. Patio furniture, most furniture is weatherproof, so quite easy to clean, and a solution of MAC Cream Cleaner in warm water and a soft cloth will remove dust and dirt to leave them freshly clean.
All right, then the most used part of our outdoor area, the braai. Your braai area obviously needs a good cleaning too. Wherever food is prepared, special care needs to be taken to ensure that there is no contamination. So before using, squirt MAC dishwashing liquid into a tub of very hot water and soak your braai utensils. Rinse and dry. A squirt of MAC Cream Cleaner on a soft damp cloth will clean the inside of the braai area, and then scrub the griddle with neat MAC Cream Cleaner to remove burnt on dirt, and really will get the job done.
Exactly. Our next tip is for outside drains. Now they can be super smelly and very unhygienic, so make sure to clean once a week. Remove leaves and all loose debris. Remove the grill, scrub with neat MAC Cream Cleaner and rinse, and then squirt MAC Thick Bleach into the drain and around the walls of the drain. Leave for a few minutes, then flush with clean water. Remember to replace the grill as well.
I love that. So now let's take it outside, further outside, as we go to our picnic areas, in particular your picnic baskets and your flasks. So wash the contents of the basket before and after, and use your MAC dishwashing liquid to do it. To disinfect, add a few drops of MAC Thick Bleach to that final rinse water as well, then dry before repackaging. Then you need to fill that flask with boiling water, add a few drops of MAC dishwashing liquid, close, give the flask a good shake, allow it to stand just for a little while before rinsing, and then dry it off.
Exactly. And then last but not least, let's go and clean the ground sheets. Now, depending on the fabric, check the labels, clean these on both sides with a solution of MAC Cream Cleaner. Then give it a good rinse. To disinfect the sheets, use a final wipe with a very weak solution of MAC Thick Bleach in cool water.
I love it. So we've got you sorted.
Wow.
Even if it is winter, get outdoors and enjoy this beautiful country we have. MAC make cleaning that much easier, and you can win a MAC hamper every week to make it even easier. To stand a chance of winning, SMS the keyword MAC to 33728. It's going to cost you just $1.50 per SMS. No free SMSs apply, but all of the terms and conditions, as always, can be found on expressoshow.com. This week's giveaway ends at midnight at the end of the week, this coming Friday.
MAC dishwashing liquid has a high foam formula that quickly and easily cuts through grease, making it easy for you to shine.
Well, stay tuned to your Feel Good Breakfast show. After a short break, we'll come back with some beautiful baby news. Apparently, Chrissy Teigen and John Legend have just announced their baby name, and Robbie Cruz also spread some joy this morning. And of course, all of this would not be possible without Umfazi, which also happens to be the song that Zahara will be performing her latest single right after these.
Strength of a woman comes from within. You can get it down today. She'll surely come. Thank you for that. Strength of a woman comes from within. You may get it down today. She'll surely come around.
welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. About to close down this Monday edition with some pretty good news we've just discovered on radio.
A very big congratulations to Robbie Cruz from 5FM. He's just announced that he and wife Lynn will be expecting a baby. Wow, there we go. Thanks for sticking with me, my ninja for life. 3 years today. Congratulations. Also,
Awesome,
big congratulations to Chrissy Teigen and John Legend, who introduced their baby to the world with this post. This is Miles Theodore Stevens, everybody.
Miles Theodore.
Miles Theodore
Luna and
Stevens.
Miles.
And of course, we know that
Deep
they
thinker.
love naming babies after musicians. This one was after Miles
Davis.
Davis, yeah. So, yeah, congratulations. And then, of course, we've got to close off the show in the most phenomenal way. Hey,
And
Kat?
we are. Listen, guys, when I found out about Zahara working with Kirk Whalum, who was the guy that played the saxophone solo on I Will Always Love You, and the fact that he sought her out, right? He looked for her, found her. They've shot the music video for the next song that you're about to hear. It's out on YouTube. And congratulations also to Zahara for the countless nominations and awards and for the strength that she has shown in carrying forward with her craft.
Yeah.
You're about to enjoy
purity,
the final performance this morning. Here's Zahara with Umfazi.
Strength of a woman comes from within. You may get it down today. She will surely come around. Strength of a woman comes from within. You can get it down today. She'll surely come around. Inyande logo, usane mkolo, iboshu witisi, yeah. Habisanteni.
to end a Monday. I mean, did you hear the sax in that song? Absolutely beautiful.
I completely drifted away there. I was on another planet. That was beautiful.
And by the way, if you didn't know, Zahara does have a brand new album called Godi. It is out right now. Went gold in 6 hours. If you want to find out why it did that, get your own copy. Let's support our local artists. Man, it features some great songs in there. We've heard 3 of them this morning.
Exactly.
And all of them just hit
How
the
does
Monday
she manage
feel.
to do it? Like her music just gets better and better and better and better and better, like all the time.
She is a class act.
It's like, that honesty in the vocal when you hear it, when it's performed. It hits you and then you understand why.
Hits you in the feels.
Like you don't even need to understand what Mkoti is all about, but when she sings Mkoti, you're like,
exactly.
The album Mkoti Mnake.
Yes, listen, I would just want to say tomorrow we're doing a full royal wedding fashion roundup, so you want to stay tuned because Nick Strelitz has got everything from who wore it best and who should have just stayed at home on the Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Bye. Have a wonderful Monday.
Awesome.
Bye.
Expresso Morning Show, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.